everyone, Steve here, and we're back from our Snowbreak. So, before we get started, we got some more unfortunate news. Davy Chase, best known as Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, and Chihiro from Spirited Away, has sadly passed away, along with well-known suit actor Richie Seki. May both of them rest in peace, and condolences go out to their friends, families, and colleagues and whatnot. And I'm not entirely sure what happened to Richie Seki, but Davy Chase is definitely this even more sad case, as he died from organ failure. Well, hang on a bit. What was it? Phone's going off. Let's see here. Septic shock and organ failure. Yeah. Ooh. And it's about as bad as cancer and losing it to it, so oof, yep. But yep, maybe again, waiting both of them rest in peace nonetheless. So we're getting close to the end due to the legacy story, but I forgot to mention last week that yeah, there is nothing any major, as I've read that the next event is a bit delayed. Instead, it's a couple of reruns. Give me a minute. Yep, no new event, or at least at the time. And the store is pretty empty. Yeah. My guess, based on what I've gathered and from what I'm guessing, I think they're still laying low, mainly because, well, as I pointed out in the past few streams, the Nut Judgment ratted them out to the CCP, and, well, look where they are now. Fortunately, there are some ways to get around the after posty long ass maintenance, which is, well, neutered, but that was with mods. But yeah. Before I actually get started, though, there's another thing I need to point out. Yeah, so I normally wouldn't exactly want to do go back to doing weekend streams, but Alex wants me to go through Halo, wants me to take along for Halo, so it looks like I'm going to do going back to weekend streams. So I did point out at the time that, well, I mean, today is tomorrow, obviously, but timing is, well, the Twitch schedule said 12. I had it noon, but I think it might be earlier than that, so just keep a lookout for those watching over on Twitch. But as for, well, the rest of the platforms, you'll know. So, anyways, I'm done rambling now, so let's get on to the next part, Sands of Secrets. And then next week is Maze of Darkness, so yeah, this is gonna be fun. So let's see here. Cutscene 2 stages. Cutscene stage. Cutscene stage. Cutscene stage. Cutscene stage. Cutscene stage. Cutscene stage and a boss fight and 2 cutscenes. Didn't seem like they have quite a lot, so. Oh, and get out of here. I had my controller cooked up, but I may have to replace the 8-bit Duo controller because I think the battery's been shot, so Alright, anyways. So, about her. What's the plan? Plan? What do you mean? Inside Tao's office at Yggdrasil headquarters, she and I stood by the floor of the ceiling window, looking down at the plaza outside the main gate. And I'm just gonna listen to music for a minute here. Yeah, that's the original main menu song before they replaced it with Unknown Conjecture. I believe this is called Cracks in the Snow, I believe so. Anyways, down there, Finny Life, Chin Chin, Caroline were gathered around two modified Granny Switchfoot armored vehicles, engrossed in conversation. About that letter from her family, of course. Didn't she tell you? Oh, you mean the one summoning Chin Chin home? She did, and I read it myself. It was cryptic, dancing around the point, but pushing her to return for something that didn't seem urgent. She called on for clarification, but her family wouldn't say a word, insisting she come back for a face-to-face discussion. Rare mysterious, you might say. You could say that. She's barely slept these past few days, running through every possible scenario. She even dragged me into brainstorming contingency plans with her. Detail-oriented, thorough, and connecting dots from the faintest clues to map out every possible outcome. Who does that remind you of? Yep. And it's giving me one of Shinto, yeah, herself. She doesn't need to be like anyone else. Huh. You certainly are as bold as ever. She laughed softly as she stepped away from the window, settling into her chair with deliberate ease, then reached out to flip through the stack of papers on her desk. Yggdrasil needs me to be bold. If the world were truly at peace, I wouldn't exactly bother. Well said. You're a family man now, after all. Should I pencil you in for administrative leave for a honeymoon trip? Yeah, sure. And we'll make it back just in time to see more former business partners tearing you and Yggdrasil apart. We've seen expressionless glances holding the silence for just a moment before we couldn't help but chuckle. First it was Cather Technologies and the Andretti family. Now it's the G family and Shuozhou. Our enemy has a knack for poaching our allies. But something feels off. Let me guess. You're wondering why the mastermind behind this, whoever it may be, would bother involving Chin Chin, given her relationship with her family. Exactly. So rather than Roseanne, the content of that strange letter makes me suspicious of someone else. Theta, I believe. Yeah, it's been a while. Let's see here. Greek. Oh, what the hell? The hell? There we go. Let's see here. Oh my god. Yeah, it's data. Just double checking because I kind of forget my letters. Let's see here. Yeah, it's data. We already dealt with Pi and Omega. And let's see here. Epsilon and Delta are still running amok, and those two are been never revealed. But yeah, anyways. Data hasn't been revealed yet, but that's next few chapters away, so. but I'm getting ahead of myself there, so anyways. Well, it would be her turn eventually, wouldn't it? Last time I saw Pi, I was able to confirm that everyone else from Yukisol had connections to the demiurges. At this point, Delta and Theta are the only ones we don't have eyes on yet. So, no, absolutely not. Heh, you won't let me finish. Biting. Near Shuozhou's border, third-party lab that Fredia contacted has confirmed that awakening dust contains a mineral unique to that area. Fredia and I are going for a thorough recon. A light low for a strictly exploratory operation. Once we have what we need, we'll head back to HQ immediately. I want to keep this a low profile. If anyone tracks us, I hope it's only after we've already left. You know you've been fighting an uphill battle since the year's operation, right? Oh, trust me, it's gonna get worse than this. And it's not just the year's operation, it was the new interior operation, especially from Rosen as well. Yeah, exactly, I do. Yggdrasil has an entire company of resources and the famous Heimdall Force, and yet we're still running risky missions with skeleton crews. Backup is always late, sometimes non-existent, and it's drawn plenty of criticism, directed toward me as well. Let him talk. The officers and I trust you, and that's all that matters. We've gone all in before, haven't we? Remember the last time when I was stationed in New Hintiro and most of the Heimdall Force was sent to Kuru? And what happened? The enemy waltzed right into HQ, killed people right under our noses, and nearly got you as well. I won't let that happen again. Until you're healthy and the Heimdall Force is back at full strength, maintaining a stable defense is far more important than going on the offensive. That's why you should have let me finish. I'm not against your plan to scout baiting with Fredia, it's just that... Adjutant! Just our conversation reached a critical juncture, Fredia's voice echoed down the hallway, cutting through the air. Before I could turn, the door swung open and in barreled Fredia. Yeah. Adjutant! Director Tao! I just got word from the logistics department. Are we scrapping the baiting mission? What the hell are you talking about? We're canceling any fieldwork, but the investigation mission has not changed. Ew, thank goodness. I thought even that thing was... What thing? Never mind. Forgot I said anything. Right, okay. She exchanged a quick conspiratorial glance with Tao before clamming up like a kid, almost caught sneaking cookies. Meanwhile, Tao rose from her chair and handed me a document she had just pulled from the stack. The mission's still on, just with adjusted parameters. As you suggested, we're focusing on defense and stability. Spindle system. Practical application test report. Phase 3 results. What the hell is this? Take it with you and read it on the way. They should be back any minute now. She gave my shoulder a firm pat before gesturing at Fredia and leaving the office. Clueless, I walked alongside Fredia as we followed Tao toward the elevator. Do you know anything about this? Me? Let me think. Do I know? Just tell me the truth. No need to hesitate about anything. Around 6 months ago, there was a research project led by Director Tao on which I helped out at the start. But later, I became completely focused on my new exosuit prototype and didn't have time for anything else. Spindle system. Director Tao, could it be? Exactly, come along, I'll fill you in shortly. Adjutant, this is going to be amazing! Now we have more methods for gathering intel. Moments later. We reached the front gate of the Yggdrasil building. Yet, I still have no clue what Frida was so ecstatic about. Before I could ask, I was almost literally swept off my feet. Darling! An intoxicating fragrance wrapped around Mia, spinning through herself into my chest with unrestrained passion. Her arms clung tightly, and one mischievous hand darted behind my back to deliver a playful pinch. So I heard you were planning to sneak up on another trip without us. What's the plan? Bringing someone new home one more time? That would be next chapter, weirdly enough, but I'm getting ahead of myself there. Her teasing whispers brushed my ear, accompanied by a faint sting of her pinch. Penny's raw affection overflowed, filling my heart with warmth. How exactly do you manage to stay so well informed? My nose is as sharp as my ears. I can sniff out what my man's up to from miles away. Nope, you got me there. Really? Then maybe you should use that nose to tell me where I'm... No, not afraid of all these people. Don't you dare try to make a fool of me in public. Damn, huh? Oh, she's smart. But anyways, her fiery passion was as intense as her love, engulfing me like waves of heat, overwhelming, undeniable, and comforting it all at once. Alrighty, alright, I'll let you get back to work. Trick to tell, we brought her back, and she'll be here shortly. Is it okay if I leave the rest to Wednesday? Sure. He's already at the training grounds, taking to company recruits through Heimdall combat drills. Go check on her and make sure everything's running smoothly. No problem, consider it done. With a playful grin, she gave my wrist a quick pinch before heading toward the main building. But after just a few steps, she paused and turned back. Hey, Professor Verdia, I heard we won't have to head out anymore. Oh, that's not true. Just more tools and safety nets. We'll still be jumping into the fray to fight. What, Nani? Haha, I see. With that, she quickly strode away, disappearing around the corner of the long walkway. Quick question. Am I the only one still trying to make sense of what the hell's going on here? Don't be upset, darling. Truth be told, we're all a bit unsure, just like you. Huh, really? It's hard to put faith in something you haven't seen with your own eyes. But it looks like it's almost... Oh, here it is. Her gaze shifted to a distant edge of the plaza, where another Granny Swift-foot vehicle sped toward the front gate. What's with this many people here? Director Tell, Professor Radia, I thought we were keeping this under wraps. Yawning, Yao stepped out of the vehicle, her eyes scanning everyone present before finally landing on me. Looks like your Shuozhou getaway fell through, Adjutant. You're better off staying here and keeping me company during my afternoon naps. No, I need you to dye your hair red and change your outfit and be a badass. She briefly glanced back into the vehicle. Seems like on this job, we all be in dreamland anyways. Alright, everyone to the command room. Heimdall's operation strategy is undergoing further adjustments, effective immediately. So about this spindle system. Simply put, it's a highly sophisticated VR-based combat simulation system enhanced and modified with Yggdrasil's technology. The system is built on a massive amount of real-world data collected by field agents working across different regions and environments. It creates fully immersive virtual scenarios. The data gathered by these agents is compiled, uploaded, and processed into a specialized format, allowing the spindle system to reconstruct specific environments with remarkable precision to meet specific needs. Users can't step into these simulations or relive everything the agents experience firsthand. The most important thing is that now, with the spindle system, we can study the data the field agents bring back 24/7. Oh, excuse me. Sound, light, temperature, any information hidden with the intricate environments will be detected and captured, even if the agents missed it themselves. This way, when it's time to deploy the Heimdall force into the field to engage, we can minimize the risk that would have come from incomplete intel. Adjutant, you won't be forced to fight in an uphill battle anymore. So, this is what you meant by more tools and safety nets. Exactly! After a year's operation, I keep thinking about how to better prepare everyone while minimizing risk during missions. So I pitched this idea to Director Tao, and once she approved, we started working on it. I didn't mean to keep it a secret, but building a foundational data took way longer than I expected. Not to mention the technical hurdles. Even now, I can't promise the system will work flawlessly, but her words trailed off, a flicker of unease crossing her face, as if there was something else, something she wasn't ready to reveal. I'll take it from here. Tal stood and took the holographic projector remote from Fridia. With a sigh of relief, Fridia bounced over and plopped down into a seat beside me and Life. Behind me, Chenching remained silent as always, while Yao stretched out her legs, seemingly settling in for a nap. Based on the intelligence we gathered from multiple sources, Heimdall's primary threats now extend beyond Taijin. The Demiurges must be considered a top enemy as well. However, instead of direct confrontation, he seemed to favor manipulation, crafting elaborate schemes to lure you into one carefully laid pitfall after another. Her gaze landed on me, her eyes glared with unmistakable concern. We've all seen what they're capable of. Moving forward, the primary directive for all Heimdall operations will be securing critical intelligence while ensuring the safety of our operatives. Additionally, adaptive training for everyone's new exosuits will be conducted within the spindle system. Wait a minute. I had started to piece together why Talon Fridia had developed this system and the enormous safety improvements it promised for Heimdall. But there were questions, pressing ones, that demanded some answers now. The field agents who gather all this data, where did they all come from? Former security department personnel, Heimdall reserves, and a few trusted contractors. Their loyalty isn't in question. It's not their loyalty I'm worried about, it's their safety. Who's ensuring that? I ensure it. She rarely made such straightforward promises. Firm stance now caught me completely off guard. Indeed, in terms of responsibilities, they take on the initial field risks, so you and the Heimdall... Indeed, in terms of responsibilities, they take on the initial field risks, so you and Heimdall don't have to. Each of them believes in your vision, respects your leadership, and wants to contribute however they can. Since I'm the one who chose them for this project, my job provides. Since I'm the one who chose them for this project, it's my job to provide sufficient measures to ensure their safety. All field agents are equipped with survival pods that can be activated in any emergency. Any emergency? Every member of Yggdrasil is a reflection of you and me. We must protect that reputation. No injuries, no tears, no humiliation. That is our standard. If we can't help ensure that, I'd rather not deploy them at all. Besides our limited numbers of manifestations, you and your team have also earned widespread renown. When investigations have to be conducted low profile, without evidence or justification, the field agents must go in first. That's why I called off the investigation you and Fridia plan on for baiting. One of our agents had been stationed there for quite some time. 6 months ago, Booba was sent to baiting for on-site investigation and surveying. But soon after, she ceased contact with us. It wasn't until a week ago that we finally received her signal again, and now she's been brought back. You and Fridia can start your investigation using the data she collected, which has already been integrated into the spindle system. She's back, isn't she? I'd rather meet her in person than really on secondhand data. That might be tricky, Adjutant. Yeah suddenly chimed in. I turned to see her sitting uncharacteristically upright, her usual laid-back demeanor replaced with a sharp look. You can't see her, sure, but I doubt she'll be able to tell you much. And why is that? She's in a deep coma. Her consciousness completely shut off. The medical department is trying to figure out a way to rouse her. Fuck. Well, she's out for a while. A surge of indescribable emotion overwhelmed me, accompanied by a faint sting in my palm. Turning my head, I realized life had suddenly grasped my hand, her eyes intensely focused on me. Try to stay calm, darling. I would, except this game is not making me do. So I can't find a good excuse, but yeah, anyway, so. Situations like this aren't new. Once activated, the survival pod encases the agent in a nearly invincible cocoon, keeping them safely isolated from all external threats. But actually, before the survival pod is activated, there's no way to protect them from the heat of battle. Adjutant, regardless, you're the one actually leading Heimdall. Excuse me. What I just laid out is simply an option from my perspective. The final decision is yours, Steven, and no matter your choice, the company will fully support you. I see. Come this far, no point in hesitating or second guessing now. This agent went through so much to bring us this data. I owe it to her to see this through. Fridia, when can we start? When are you ready, Adjutant? Good. Let's get started right now. Alright. Scorching sun. Nope, we're stuck with Fridia. And we'll use her another time. Let's see here. And we'll see Harper later. And use Dorothy and Chin-Ching. And since we may be using her later. Some special operation you can use jumping combat. Headshot!
そりゃすぐ逃げなかったんだから、こうなるのは至極当然だよね。お金は必要な人に渡しましょう。これ自動装填のパーツと機能搭載してないの？あんたの弱点はもうバックアップまで取ってるよ。私の弾丸は怒涛よりも速い。
今、戦場は私の手のひらの上です。
I'll be honest, I actually forgot how to use Fridia's turbo, but then again, I don't have her.
これで優位に立てます。
I mean, did have, well, as you saw, I saw her, did have her, latest swarm, and did have, her little sunshine and, hush, but her turbo is the only one I did not have, so.
恐れるほどではありません。大吉。
Alright. Ambushing enemies. Ambushing. Woohoo! There we go. Keep going, keep going. Oh, up above. Alright. Whoa, shit!
全部解けろ。終わり。甘い。ここからです。大吉。
There we go. Alright.
わあ、マジか。他に誰かいないの？
Yep, and that's it.
ご褒美。もっと近づいてもらえないでしょうか。
Yeah, okay, Dorothy. Let's see here. Okay, got, there you go. Okay. Defeat the enemies and cross the camp. Ooh, excuse me.
お金は必要な人に渡しましょう。
There you go, Tim. Sonic speed.
セキュリティガバガバじゃない？お疲れ。みんな怪我はない？私の弾丸は怒涛よりも速い。
ご安心を。私はもう二度と記憶に惑わされません。
Ooh, boy. Sniper.
大吉。
There we go. There's one.
百射百中。終わり。甘い。ここからです。すぐに終わります。装填中です。ありがとう。 操作方法はよく覚えてます。
Species enemies.
百射百中。この件はもう確定しています。
Alright, check more intel.
大吉。
Keep going complete. No, that's it.
分析員どうだった？私前より進歩してるのかな？
I don't know. I don't know if there's any improvements. Alright, cutscene time. Hello? Hello? Testing, testing. Is this thing on? Did I forget to hit record button again? 1 second. The Geomancer will figure it out. Aha! There it is! This is Boo Boo, dedicated field agent for Yggdrasil Spindle System. Reporting from baiting on the Shuozhou border, about to begin my 6th field data collection mission. Wait, that might have sounded way too uptight. This is going to be reviewed by the adjutant himself. Maybe I should loosen up a bit. Oh, hi there, adjutant. My name is Boo Boo. I used to be a level 2 intelligence officer with Yggdrasil. Right now, I'm stationed here in baiting, helping the Heimdall force with the Spindle system. The process turned out to be simpler than I had imagined, but also more bizarre. Oh, you thought that was bizarre? Wait until we get to the journey stuff. After the meeting, Pretty quickly ushered me into a specialized chamber. Oh shit. After the meeting, Pretty quickly ushered me into a specialized chamber for immersive use of the spindle system. Put on the interface gear and dove into the analysis of data gathered by the agent named Boo Boo. Boo Boo, what you doing over there? You better be careful not to get caught. Sorry, I can't do it a Yogi Bear voice well than say Compass, but oh boy, his impression of Yogi not only dead on, but his jokes definitely not safe work friendly. I'll tell you that. Anyways, one moment, I was surrounded by the familiar walls of the company headquarters. Next, I was squinting against the harsh desert sun, a gust of sandy wind stinging my face. The realism was so intense, it felt as though I had truly been transported to baiting. Professor Fredia, I've got a question. Go ahead, yo. Does sunscreen work here? Well, probably? Actually, forget it. You won't need it anyway. None of this is real. Everything we see or feel comes from a data provided by Boo Boo. There's no actual UV rays to burn us. I expected the simulation to be pretty realistic, but this is just uncanny. Behind me, Yao bent down and scooped up a handful of sand, letting it trickle through her fingers thoughtfully. She had casually asked to join this session for a chance to enjoy some sunbathing in her dreams. Yet her fascination with the sand betrayed that it was just an excuse. Whoa, even smells earthly, adjutant. This little realism is insane. It's no different than actually being on the field. Yeah. It is quite bizarre. It's like if Sony upgraded their VR system and we tested out their 100 games and it feels like we're actually in the game for reals. Even to a point of getting shot or beaten. Yeah. After giving the sand a final careful sniff, she blew the grains from her hand and straightened up. Why so quiet? Do I have something on my face? She instinctively reached up to touch her cheek, finding nothing amiss. While my silence did nothing to reassure her, she froze for a moment, momentarily at a loss. Yeah, welcome back, Red of a Yow. Words slipped out raw and honest. It had been far too long since I'd seen her gear up for action, and now, seeing her like this again, something about her felt especially captivating. Hey, come on, you don't have to say that out loud. I was just curious, that's all. Curious about this whole dream travel thing. Getting to explore somewhere far away while taking a nap. Who wouldn't want to give that a try? Despite the glaring sunlight, the fleeting blush on her cheeks didn't escape my notice. Field reconnaissance, rugged desert treks, no one in Heimdall was better suited for the task of this nature than Yao. Her decision to volunteer for this mission made perfect sense to me. Hey, standing around like that won't get us anywhere, you know. Suddenly, Brigia's voice came not from beside us, but from above. Looking up, I saw her perched atop the large rock, standing on tiptoe with binoculars in hand, peering into the distance. See anything interesting up there? Don't ask me, ask yourselves. She waved vigorously at us with one arm, then tapped her forehead with a finger. We're inside Boo Boo's mind. Pay attention. She'll keep sharing everything she found, just like earlier. Following Fridia's guidance, Yao and I focused tuning into the spindle system to uncover more of the data the field agent had left behind. It wasn't long before Boo Boo's voice returned, as if her consciousness had fused with my own. Through my first 5 surveys, beating has always struck me as peculiar. It looks like a desert at first glance, but on closer inspection, you'll find traces of human activity everywhere. The remnants of infrastructure suggest there used to be a settlement here, large enough to house thousands of people. What's odd is that, according to the available data, this area hasn't seen war for a very long time, nor has been any recorded Titan-gen corrosion. So what exactly caused all this devastation, and where are the people who used to live here? This time the great geomancer Boo Boo will get to the bottom for the... for the adjutant. That's us, Boo Boo. Go after these guys. Okay. Keep on looking and find some picnic baskets while you're at it. After all, she is smarter than the average bird. Okay. I'm sorry. But anyways, desert land settlement. Wait, something's blocking my view this way. And this way too. Aha, found it. That patch over there. It looks rebuilt. Definitely modern architecture. Adjutant, I've discovered a clue. Oops, whoa! Brigia, be careful. I'm fine. Steady's a rock. Brigia set down the binoculars, bracing her knees, her body trembling slightly. Down below, Yao had already climbed halfway up the rock pillar, scanning the distance attentively. That girl mentioned a settlement. Did she say anything? I'll tell you when I get down. Adjutant! As she suddenly called out to me, I instinctively opened my arms and lowered my center of gravity to reach ready to catch her. But then she did something completely unexpected. Watch me, here I come! With a short run up and a push up the pillar's edge, she launched herself into the air, her body arched gracefully, twisting midair to regain balance. As her feet touched the ground, she crouched low, her palms hitting the dirt to absorb the impact. Using the momentum, she propelled herself toward me. In a split second, she was standing before me with a triumphant grin, one hand on her hip and her chin tilted up proudly. She didn't seem out of breath or flushed in the least. How's that? But this new exosuit, even Professor Prettia is a tough as iron. Rub Prettia's head or pick Prettia up? Gonna have to use 20 sauce for that, and oh yeah, that's right. I got myself a new phone, which is the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, and it's in the case right now at the moment. So, okay, let's see here. Alright, we're picking Pretty up its tails. Oh yeah, I need to close this down. Pretty was still burning with excitement from syncing perfectly with her new exosuit and experiencing the improved physical abilities it provided. Her enthusiasm was infectious. I couldn't help myself, reach under her arm and gently lift her into the air. Well, look at you! So strong and aerodynamic. Very turbo! Maybe you should shift the turbo. Okay, yeah, sorry, bad Power Rangers joke, but anyways. Although, weirdly enough, Mike's current event is pretty much, has, Super Sentai Power Rangers theme to it, with Arc Ranger Black being the latest unit. Unfortunately, did not pull for her yet, so. And I think the next event might be even more crazy. I'm not entirely sure, but anyways. Hee, you bet. I can outrun the wind now. Hold up, Prettia. There's something I don't get. That girl, Boo Boo, is she really unconscious now, or? What do you mean? Well, I personally picked her up from Holmes' border office, so I'm absolutely sure she's in a coma. Everything she said since we entered the spindle system seems to be about past investigations she conducted in this area, which makes sense. But there's one thing that seems off. It feels like I can actually talk to her in real time. Here, let me show you. Hey, Boo Boo, can you hear me? Is that Miss Yao from Heimdall? Hello, this is Boo Boo, and yes, I can hear you clearly. As Yao spoke, her Boo Boo's crisp, cheerful voice resonated in all our minds at once, clear and unmistakable. Can you do me a favor and tell me the date and time? Sure, right now, it's Agent Boo Boo's 6th official field survey beating. 1317 on XX 2060X. Wow, very big with the date. Although, we can definitely say that this is far into the future. 2060s, yeah. We'd be old geezers by now. Or for those who are young that still have years to live. Anyways. Wait, hold on a second. Did you just give us a timestamp from 6 months ago? Exactly, which is why I find it so strange. Professor Prettia, do you know what's going on here? Even Professor Prettia is stumped. It's supposed to be impossible for something like this to occur. No worries. You know this system better than Yao and I do. Just tell me the most unreasonable possibility, and I'll try to think it through. Normally, those currently using the system can communicate with each other, and right now you control the access permissions, Adjutant. But Boo Boo, she clearly can field agents access the system when uploading data. Is there any chance that Boo Boo's consciousness could still be trapped inside the system? Now, saving and uploading data doesn't require accessing the system. Not to mention, ordinary Peru can't handle this neurological and physical strain that comes with the spindle system. My best guess is that the data she recovered from Boo Boo's survival pod is partially corrupted, causing an access error during data retrieval. Is there a chance it's been tampered with externally? Highly unlikely. Most of the spindle system's development was handled solely by Director Tao. Even I only contributed to a few key modules. Excuse me. It's been maintained under the strictest confidentiality. Even if outsiders or our enemies attacked our field agents, they couldn't possibly know the spindle system exists. You can't hack a system if you don't know if you don't even know if it exists. Okay, I guess we'll have to set these questions aside for now and press on. By the way, Viridia, this is just my guess, but the best way to fully access all of Boo Boo's findings is to retrace her original route, right? That's correct. It's the most efficient approach, though it's not foolproof. Field agents each have their own focus during investigations. Following her path allows us to confirm how much of what we know, but we want more. We'll need to fill in the blanks, looking for what she might have missed. Exactly! Let's start with the settlements she mentioned and see what we can find out there. And so the three of us follow Boo Boo's trail deeper into the uncharted expanse of baiting. We've navigated through yet another stretch of jagged rocky desert. We bypassed what looked like a weathered, wind-eroded ridge, or perhaps a wall blasted apart by explosives. By now, it felt like we'd been walking for 2 hours. The horizon began to show faint hints of greenery and the shimmer of water. Still, the so-called settlement was nowhere in sight, not even as we entered a strange forest of towering mushroom-shaped stone pillars. Wait, let's stop for a moment. Perhaps it was the spindle system's effect. Our senses were amplified to their absolute limits. Even though we were only walking, it felt like we were burning through stamina at an exponential rate. Boo Boo! Boo Boo! Yeah, I called again, but there was no response. Yeah, what's wrong? Excuse me, trying to come up with voice. Don't these field agents use maps on their missions? Warning like this isn't going to cut it. I need a map. If the field agent has uploaded high precision map data into the system, we can access it as users. All you have to do is think about the map and it should appear. Before she could finish, a holographic 3D map with a fully rendered terrain model projected itself into the air before us. Gal, who had looked worn and weary just moments ago, perked up immediately. She bent over to examine the map intently. Something's off, she murmured under her breath, adjusting the angle of the 3D map with her fingertips. Professor Viridia, this spot here. This is where you climbed up onto the rock earlier, right? She pointed at the solitary high point of the map and turned to Viridia for a confirmation. There's a huge rock slab to the east and a gas pipeline to the south. Yeah, that's a spot. And right now, we're here. After all this time, how come it looks like we've hardly moved on the map? Good question. Well, if you just look at the straight line distance, sure it seems short, but it's not quite the full picture. Look, Viridia adjusted the map again, spinning to demonstrate as she continued explaining. We would have covered this distance much faster if we'd taken a straight path, but to stick it to the route we recorded, we've actually taken quite a detour to get here. It all makes sense now. Yeah, it does make sense when you look at it that way. Are you two playing some kind of word game? What do you mean it all makes sense? According to what you said, we've actually walked in a wide arc. But Viridia, did you notice anything strange about the path we took? What do you mean? Every spot around here looks practically the same, even though there are obvious signs of human activity in some places. It's really hard to tell which way is which in this desert. I found Gal's alert demeanor just as charming as her usual laziness. Holding back the urge to jump in, I let her continue. It's normal for nature to occasionally form confusing environments. Back in the days of scientific expeditions, explorers often got completely lost in the wild. But usually, once humans leave their mark, intentionally or not, the environment becomes more readable. Roadworks, landmarks, renovations, all those things help make locations easier to distinguish. But here, while this place has clearly been shaped by human activity, we're still completely lost. That can only mean one thing. This place only looks natural. In reality, it's a massive maze, carefully designed by some mastermind with an ulterior motive. She couldn't have been more correct. On the surface, this area seemed like a natural landscape, but there was something strangely artificial about it. Feng Shui, geomancy, landscape matrices. I only ever read about those things in old magazines. I didn't think I'd ever actually see them in use. That's impressive. Huh? It's really not that big of a deal. No, seriously, what you said lines up perfectly what I saw from up there. What you said and perfectly what I said up there. Look at this. See that opening? It looks like it was formed by wind erosion, right? But now it's blocked by rubble. Earlier, I thought the rubble seemed strange. It doesn't look like it was shattered by explosives, but it's not entirely natural either. And over here, the stone forest. Even the angles of broken pieces are eerily similar. That's way too convenient to be a natural wonder. But only I started noticing those details after climbing up there and getting a better look. So how do you figure it out? Was it just intuition? Intuition? Let's call it that. Yal tilted her head and flashed a wry smile toward Phrygia. Then she stretched out lazily, scanning the area around us. On the battlefield, maps are made by people on the front line. With their boots in the dirt. If you got out and explored more, you pick it up too. That said, these skills come from first-hand experience and facing danger. Honestly, I wouldn't want anyone else to go through that. It's not worth the hassle. Hassle? What kind of a hassle? Gee, where do I start? Back before Heimdall, I was just a soldier, but somehow because I picked up a few skills that aren't easy for the average Joe to learn, people started thinking that I must have been in a gang as a kid. And given what we learned, that wouldn't exactly surprise me in the slightest. That was the case. But I'm getting ahead of myself there again because, well, let's see here. In the next couple of chapters, it's back to her again. Ridiculous. Real skills are forged on the battlefield, not in back alleys. Anyway, enough about that, Actually, you seem distracted. What's on your mind? It's been a while since we last heard Boo Boo's voice, but it seems like we're still following her original investigation path without deviation. That's probably leaves us with only one explanation, Adjutant, which is the spindle system doesn't just record field agents' observations. It also logs any combat encounters. However, combat data is stored in a separate module. Maybe we should disconnect for now and check the data Boo Boo brought back to see if there's a combat-specific module we can access. Sounds like a hassle, doesn't it? Why would they make the system segregate combat data? Do you remember the first question you asked me when we logged in? Huh? You mean the one about the sunscreen? What does that have? Wait, are you saying... Exactly! While it feels like we're living the agent's memories in a dreamlike simulation, the system replicates everything with near-perfect realism. Even fake sunlight feels like it's burning our skin. Now imagine the system simulating what it's like to get shot. What would that do to us? Yeah. Exactly how I pointed out. It's like how I pointed out if Sony upgraded their VR system, and then yeah, as I pointed out, if you get shot or get stabbed or whatnot, then well, I think you know where this is going. Field agents often get injured or worse. That's why we can't let the system user experience the same risk. So what's the plan, Adjutant? Do we disconnect for now? You two disconnect. Find that combat module and load it. I'm staying connected. I want to see what it's like without cutting the link. Are you fucking joking? No way, Adjutant, that's way too dangerous. It's okay. Just do as I say. Do it! Just do it! Adjutant, no matter how dangerous this is, it can't be worse than the time in Valhalla inside the tree, right? Along the way, I felt like I missed something important. And I'd like to see just how far the system can go in syncing an agent's experiences with the user. Go ahead, load a combat module. Unable to dissuade me, the two operatives silently followed my orders. Once they disappeared from my sight, I let my body and mind relax completely, lying flat on the ground. The sky stretched endlessly above me. The sand beneath radiated heat, and the wind brushing up my face carried a sharp dryness, gritty with fine particles of dust. Everything felt unnervingly real. Despite being in a virtual realm, my thoughts were clearer than ever. Tal had been right. Rosa had no interest in direct confrontation with Yggdrasil. She knew me too well, almost like as well as she knew herself. Wherever my curiosity leads, she would surely lay traps, waiting for me to take the bait. What the spin into the system, would baiting the city in reality be just another trap waiting for me to stumble into? It's possible. Field Agent Boo Boo reporting in. Saw a small number of locals scattered around baiting. Ow! That hurts. It's confirmed now. In the outer desert areas, groups of armed personnel. In the outer deserts, groups of armed personnel from the Taigu Connect Baiting Division are actively hunting down these locals, but their motives remain unclear. Those scoundrels! How dare they wound the Geomancer? Just you wait, I'll bash your heads in soon enough. Wait, that didn't get recorded, did it? Whatever, no time to worry about that now. Adjutant, if this data has reached you, please be extra careful. If my guess is correct, this entire desert is a meticulously designed maze. Whoever created it must be up to something big. And with armed militants and locals crawling over the place, they're not the kind you can take lightly. Now it's time to pay them a visit. I let my balls do some questioning. Dual snipers, and then in a cutscene. Nope. Let's deploy Dorothy. Or no, actually deploy. No, actually we're keeping Dorothy. I was about to say Akasha, but yeah. Anyways. Oof. Rescue the villagers from the enemy. No good. What a mess. At this rate, everyone's going to get in trouble. Outsiders. Where do you come from? No, I have to leave. I can't let anyone see that I've been with outsiders. The rest of them are smart enough to keep their mouths shut.
お疲れ。みんな怪我はない？私の弾丸は怒涛よりも速い。
終わり？甘い。ここからです。 剣の雨降って
Okay, that was
ありがとう
not intentional, but
大吉
it's going to punish us. It definitely will. We gave what we should have been offered to it to someone else. We deserve this. This is all retribution. Area.
戦車番宣目標達成演習通りですありがとう
This could be a chance to get us out of this mess. I can't talk to these people yet. I need to play dumb. Yes, I need to pretend I'm insane. As long as both sides think we're mindless lunatics, we can't keep taking advantage of the chaos. Alright, I see.
ちょっと汗でもかくかフェーズエナジー暴月斬撃よし開発費の回収完了
Don't come any closer! You outsiders! Look, we're done debating! It's all your fault! Defeat the fierce enemy.
あなたこいつら全員ビジョントークにしようちょっと面白いご褒美もっと近づいてもらえないでしょうか
Okay, Dorothy. Alright. I've heard a lot of trouble about the Sigil system, created by the genius Fredia Ignis and Director Tao. But it seems there are still some inconveniences with it. Switching between investigation and combat mods isn't seamless yet. Guess I'll have to leave these random bits of data in this module for now. I'm sure that sharp-eyed adjutant will catch it right away anyways. Sharp-eyed. That's right. Boo-boo. No need to worry. I even spotted the little fragments of data you had to frantically record into the combat module. But these seemingly ordinary bits and pieces are more than meets the eye. Oh wow. I didn't even have to quote a Transformers quote from take a Transformers quote. They just beat me to it. If only you had known more back then. If only you were a member of the Heimdall Force instead of a field agent. You know how significant the snippets of data are to me. Hey, are you sure about this? You really want to interact with those outsiders? Why not? They're just people like us, not monsters. But what if the elders get wind of this? Well, if we both stay quiet, maybe no one will notice. Those outsiders, say, stop moving. Outsiders. Well, they certainly won't say anything, so the elders won't find out. Hiding in the thick bushes of the oasis, Boo-Boo silently observed the two girls standing just meters away from her. They appeared to be about the same age. Judging by their attire, speech, and mannerisms, they were definitely baiting locals. Strangely, one of them was changing into an outfit that clearly didn't belong here, with the help of the other. Alright, done. I'm telling you, I've seen those outsiders that run around doing business. They usually wear something like this. Remember a few years ago, someone wanted to buy land and to build some kind of sanctuary? Her negotiations were we're all dressed like this. But I'll stop with the buts. Let's go already. What? Where are we headed? And where do you get these clothes? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about where I got them. Believe me, you don't want to know. Okay, yeah. Now I'm curious how you managed to get them. As for where we're going, well, those Taika Connect guys are heading everyone into the canyon, so we'll just go the opposite way. Oh, and by the way, there are eyes and ears everywhere around here. The more daring and decisive the two stood tall, hands on their hips, scanning their surroundings as she spoke. A tree, a boulder, even a pond. You never know where an outsider might be hiding. Eavesdropping for intel. So, you just wear this. Walk around with me conspicuously and make sure those outsiders think I'm a local who's open to talk with them. Doesn't this seem kind of reckless? Got any better ideas? Come on, if things go south, you won't be the one facing the consequences anyways. Help me out. We've been friends since we were kids. I can't take these boring days trapped here any longer. The outside world is waiting for me. I'm going to take a chance, take any chance I get to go see it. She urged her friend, pulling and tugging her along as they quickly walked away. So many interesting clues here. BLH and Boo Boo reporting. The younger generation of locals is eager to get in touch with the outside world. From their words, it seems like there's always been someone invading, secretly in contact with the outside world. And the young girl just down might have some intel on it. Business, land buying, sanctuary. Come on, Boo Boo. Think. Think, Boo Boo. Think. Just like back in training. Think like the adjutant. Yeah, think like me. That'll get you somewhere. These keywords, combined with Beating's current situation and the wider world's circumstances. Now that Omega's influence in years is gone, the rest of the former directors who were mixed up with him will no doubt have their guard up. Our mission is to actively search for their hideouts, but if they've already caught on to this and know what we're up to, then there's a chance that those locals were just pretending and putting on an act for me. Oh, you'd be surprised to catch on that quickly, Boo Boo. After all, you are the smartest than the average bear. Maybe they'd known about me all along. They probably knew exactly why I was here. And then, the more I think about it, the more possibilities come up. Well, as long as I keep an eye on those two locals, I'm still in the game. Looks like I have to figure this out on my own way. Over there, it seemed like Boo Boo did something the spindle system couldn't record properly. Or maybe this part of the data she forcibly uploaded into the combat module had some gaps. Anyways, when I located her signal again in the system, this lively girl already caught up with the two suspicious locals and got herself tangled up in the new conflict. Visual marvel. Their cutscene, TikTok, their cutscene, pick a point. Okay. Alright. Let's bring in Life in Haru. Pursue the escaped villagers. Running.
これ自動装填のパーツと機能搭載してないの？
There we go.
私の弾丸は怒涛よりも速い。
全ては全て役に立たない。
Alright.
目標の排除確認。
Alright. Shit, there's more.
目標達成。指示を待つ。
And it's empty sub. Ow. Okay, to be honest, I actually forgot how to do that. Alright.
役に立たない。目標達成。指示を待つ。
That one's even more straightforward. Just one more.
無理をするな。お安いご用だ。覚悟。すべて想定内だ。わかった。一旦預かっておく。
Okay, so... Okay. There we go. Time to cross this bridge. Oh, never mind.
急速。来航よ。天を貫け。
Look for the villagers' tracks.
わかった。一旦預かっておく。お望み通り、この嵐を終わらせてやる。
Alright, next cutscene. Hey, maybe we should just head back. After another short fight, I continued along Bubu's path and found those two biting locals again. They were still dressed the same, one in a local attire, the other in a business suit, wandering aimlessly between the oasis and stone forest. Go back? Oh. Hit me. You're already thinking about giving up? You've only been at this for a little while. What do you mean give up? I never wanted to do this in the first place. You've always been so clueless. When are you gonna start thinking smarter? Oh, by thinking smart, you mean wandering around until we get caught by those gunmen and thrown into the mine. Much smarter. The mine? Who's there? Shit. Game over, game! What did I tell you that I'm not getting caught? It's about as bad as getting got by Ranger Smith when I try to steal them bacon baskets. Who's there? Show yourself! I had to admit, I found the experience in the spindle system very strange. The system simulated everything so vividly. Felt like I wasn't just synced with Boo Boo's eyes and reports, but even catching some of her thoughts. When the word "mine" slipped from the local's lips, passing through Boo Boo's senses into my own, I couldn't help but repeat in my mind. Only after I did I realize I should have prioritized that word and the implications behind it. If I acted on it then, the mysteries hanging over baiting would have unraveled much sooner. But unfortunately, my attention was quickly diverted when Boo Boo and the two locals began their little exchange. The quirky field agent was about to put on an impromptu performance. Ouch! Oh my god, that hurts! I swear this rock's as sharp as a porcupine! Hello? Is anyone there? Help me, please! What do we do? There's actually an outsider. Shh, calm down. We're looking for an outsider, remember? Let's go check it out first. Whatever, even the Geomancer can't predict everything. Seriously, tripped up by a ghost even in broad daylight. Guess it's just my luck. Twisting my ankle is the worst of it. It's not too bad, but it looks like buying some land here and baiting isn't going to happen. Hey, where'd you come from, Missy? Two locals rounded the stone pillar stepped into Boo Boo's line of sight. Me? Where did two Missies come from? The girl is clever, though her technique was a bit rough around the edges. At least she knew how to spook people like that right off the bat. Why'd you go calling me Missy? I'm a Geomancer. Hasn't anyone taught you how to greet people politely? No wonder when I mentioned coming here to buy land, everyone at the company would try to stop me. It's not just the guns, even the locals talk like they've been chewing on gunpowder. Wait, Nutty? She's here to buy land? Shh. She's here to buy land. So what about you? Don't forget who you're supposed to be. Don't forget who you're supposed to be now. Oh, right. I'm here on a business also to buy land. What are you two mumbling about? Are you gonna help or what? If not, just move along and stop blocking the Geomancer's view, right? The Geomancer? So you're a fortune teller who is also a property dealer? I'm quite adept at both. Thank you very much. Now stop standing here and help. The bold locals step forward and cautiously extend her hand, but Boo Boo avoided direct contact, standing up casually. Hey, where do you locals live around here anyways? I've been circling. Oh shit. Hey, where do you locals live around here anyways? I've been circling the place for hours, but haven't seen a proper village or even a single building. How am I supposed to know where to go to talk business? As Boo Boo spoke, she quickly used her contact lenses data sensor. Oh shit. As Boo Boo spoke, she quickly used her contact lens data sensor to scan the bold local. Once the scan and analysis were essentially complete, she then turned her back to her and acted like she just noticed the other girl. Oh, I see. No wonder you're hesitant. You're already helping out one of my rivals here, huh? Hey, nice outfit. Are you here to help your boss scope out the land and judge the feng shui as well? Boo Boo, you're saying too much. They'll see through your act. Hello? Yeah, don't worry, baiting is huge. We could be after totally different pieces of land. So what's the deal here, price-wise? Come on. A little hint wouldn't hurt. Help another player in the game, huh? Hey, did you hear me? The local girl on the business attire seemed to be on edge. Her eyes fixed at look over at Boo Boo's shoulder at the other girl. Are you really here for business? Sorry. We can discuss later. Two local girls, one of each side of Boo Boo, started speaking almost simultaneously. Suddenly, the timid girl in front of Boo Boo suddenly rushed toward her companion, forcing Boo Boo to step out of the way. Right then, Boo Boo realized what the bold local behind her must have seen. What did you say? She didn't say anything. Answer me. Are you really here for business? What business exactly? The bold girl was escalating the situation, and the timid one was trying to defuse it. All while Boo Boo quietly reaching for the pistol and at the small of her back. The system captured Boo Boo's exact state in that moment. Shallow breathing, racing heart, surging adrenaline. Yet her face showed nothing. Perfectly composed. What business saving folks from trouble? And I can tell exactly what you're thinking right now. If you really want to get at this desolate place, you should. Once again, the fragmented intel in the dominant module was interrupted. Just when I was getting nervous about Boo Boo being exposed, another round of battle data started running. Never mind. I don't care how many times they cut me off. No matter how many shots it takes, I'll never give up. This is the fate I've already foreseen. Man, Boo Boo's playing a dangerous game here. Tick tock, 5, breaking point, 6, 7, risky venture, or boss, and 8 and 5. What are we doing for about barely more than an hour and a half. Okay, Syncadia. Okay, I don't think we've used Longian yet, so... I mean, did deploy her, but didn't exactly use her, so...
ねえ、彼らは勝率を計算しないの?
Resist the enemy attack.
お金は必要な人に渡しましょう。お疲れ。みんな怪我はない？
問題ない。行こう。
More puzzles in.
罠に気をつけて。猫ババじゃないの?
I pressed this by accident, so... I forgot. It was not jump. Go to the next puzzle.
割と楽勝だったね。やっ！商人はどんな財も見逃さないものよ。商人は どんな財も見逃さないものよ。
Pretty much the reverse. Okay. More puzzles.
龍華龍華
All right. Okay.
ウォーミングアップは十分よ。さて、次の目標を聞かせてくれないかしら。
All right. Doors open.
私一人で十分。
There we go.
次は全力を出させてよね。
Full hour? I don't know. After intense simulated battle, three of us disconnected from the spindle system. The hyper-realistic experience had taken a heavy toll on both our bodies and minds. This is even tougher than the real thing, Yao muttered as she flopped down onto my lap. Refusing to get up despite my half-hearted attempts to nudge her away. Why fight against Yao off my lap? I just let her. Just saying. Looks like the combat simulation module still needs a lot of tweaking. If everyone's session's going to be this draining, might as well just head to the real front lines instead. Excuse me. On my other side, Brittany was visibly flushed, still catching her breath. She looked just as worn out. Comfort Brittany. Come here, Brittany. Take a break for now. We'll go over what we learned once we've recovered. I reached out and gently wrapped an arm around her shoulders, letting her lean against me in a more comfortable position. Adjutant, I saw from the monitor Director Tao's office that you've disconnected. Her hurried tone and footsteps hinted at urgency, but as soon as she pushed the door open, she froze mid-sentence. Excuse me. Is this a bad time? No, it's really not a bad time. You might as well join it. Might as well join along. Too tired for jokes right now. Let's skip the small talk. Same here. Hey, can you pass me that bottle of water on the table over there? Hitching exchanged wry smiles. She closed the door and stepped over to us, handing Yao the water. Slow down. Don't let it go down the wrong pipe. Way to jinx it! I was just fine until you said that. Yao downed half the bottle in one go, wiped her lips with the back of her hand, and finally sat upright, freeing my lap. Alright then. What's our urgent chin shake? Did something happen? Not exactly. Since this was the Spindle System's first live trial, Director Tao had me monitor your biosignatures and other metrics in real time. From the moment you logged in, the alarms wouldn't stop going. Oh shit. From the moment you logged in, the alarms wouldn't stop going off, and just now the readings were completely maxed out. I thought something might have gone wrong, so I rushed over. Right as I reached the door, the system notified me you're all disconnected. It'd be quite the scare. We're fine. It wasn't dangerous, just exhausting. The simulation forces you believe everything is real. which takes a toll mentally. But now that we had a taste of simulated combat, I think we're starting to get the hang of it, right? Starting to get the hang of it, right, Professor Fredia? The only response to Yao's question was Fredia's soft, steady snoring. When I turned to look, she was fast asleep. Her brow slightly furrowed and eyelashes fluttering with every exhale. Sorry, need to clear my throat. Ugh. She must be completely spent. Adjutant, how about I take all three of you to the medical bay for a quick checkup, just to be safe? Just down. I need to find Tao and verify a few things immediately. But can't wait? The sooner we clear this up, the better. Trust me on this. Alright. Oh, by the way, I'm not going home. That letter was strange enough as it is. And with things so unclear right now, it's better to leave it be for the time being. She stood up and stepped closer to help Fredia, who was sound asleep from my shoulder. Professor Fredia, wakey wakey, we should get going. I can manage on my own. Oh, come on! Just carry her already. That's my plan anyways. But as I carefully lifted Fredia into my arms, her soft, dreamlike murmurs made me freeze. Who is it? Fredia? They said they gave what should have been offered to it to someone else. Who's this it? It's going to punish us. It definitely will. We give what we should have been offered to it to someone else. We deserve this. This is all retribution. Professor Fredia isn't still stuck in the spindle system, is she? Kenshi, call the medical director. Get the turbo exosuit support team here too. Tell them to meet us at the medical bay. Now. On it. Half an hour later, outside the medical bay, I received results that were both reassuring and perplexing. Adjutant, we figured out the situation. All of Fridia's physical parameters are stable. There's no immediate threat to her life. What's the problem then? Well, the only anomaly lies in the activity level of her neurotrophic nerves. They're operating at over 3 times the normal level. However, the researcher handed me the report. Her expression, a mix of tension and confusion. This is a Titagen concentration. This little number? Yes, and that's precisely the problem. We ran multiple tests and the results are consistent. Technically, it's impossible for this level of Titagen concentration to trigger flooding. Moreover, Fridia's current condition doesn't match the typical symptoms of flooding. We even analyzed her turbo exosuit for potential side effects, but found nothing unusual. While it's true that these exosuits were developed using new technology derived from Woden's remains, none of the other users have exhibited similar anomalies. So it's not Titagen and it's not the exosuit. Are you saying her neurotrophic nerves just became hyperactive about any external stimuli? If you're so, then the issue must lie within the spindle system. Oh, there's one more thing, Adjutant. Fredia might actually be awake. Running diagnostics, we've also been testing her responsiveness using various stimuli. Turns out she's able to react accurately to our interactions with her. In other words, apart from minor impairments in speech and in mobility, she's actually fully conscious and aware of what's happening around her. I see. Keep a close eye on her. I'll go find Director Tao. No need, I'm already here. Director Tao's voice unexpectedly rang out from the end of the corridor. I turned in surprise to see her round the corner, striding purposely toward me. There's only one plausible explanation left, and I think you've already figured it out. The situation isn't critical, but it will require your intervention. She's stuck in the spindle system, but why? Do you remember Fridia's psychological evaluations? Or more specifically, the last time she had such an unusual reaction to something. Do you recall what it was like? Are you saying she's so engrossed in the investigation that part of her consciousness refuses to leave the system? How's that physically even possible? That doesn't seem physically possible. That doesn't seem physically possible. Excuse me. It's entirely possible. Think about how the spindle system works. It interfaces directly with the user's It interfaces directly with the user's neural network, translating and reconstructing data uploaded by field agents through intentional disruptions to users' consciousness. If the user resists these disruptions, the reconstructions become unstable, and the data distorts, effectively wasting the agent's work. However, if the user is highly receptive, driven by intense curiosity or a strong desire for answers. Should I help her realize this isn't real? I can lock in, find her, and wake her up by telling her we're still at the company and not in beaten. He's already aware of that. What you need to do is convince her to take a break. Let her know that the investigation Let her know that this investigation is a process, not something that needs to be completed at all. Completed all at once, I'm guessing. Yeah, all at once, yep. Of that, she handed me the Spindle's headset and walked with me into the medical bay. Radio. Adjutant, hurry. New leads. We'll handle everything out here. Just focus on her. But be careful. Frida is caught in her insatiable curiosity. And you? You carry something similar deep down. Just remember why the system was built in the first place, and what the field agents risked their lives for. It's all to preserve Heimdall. Without a moment's hesitation, I slip into the Spindle headset back on. Tal's reminder was surely important, but at the moment, I couldn't think of anything else. Welcome back to the Spindle System, Adjutant. This is Boo Boo, and I've uploaded tons of data. Feel free to dig in. I let my thoughts drift, my body weightless, as if floating on a vast, endless ocean. With Boo Boo's cheerful voice guiding me, I plunged once more into that world teetering on the edge of illusion and reality. I opened my eyes in a place filled with greenery, water, and humid air, with no sign of Frida. She wasn't here. Nor here. Frida! Professor Frida! This was pointless. Wandering aimlessly wouldn't get me anywhere. I had to think like her, to understand her mindset and obsessions. What had she discovered, or rather, what was holding her back, keeping her mind tethered to this system? They say they gave what should have been offered to it, to something else. Who is this it? Those are the desperate ramblings of the locals we encountered during the earlier mission. Now Frida kept repeating those words. Could she have followed Boo Boo's footsteps and found something local to investigate? With this hypothesis in mind, I immediately began scanning my surroundings. Tire tracks, footprints, man-made paths, any trace would do. If I could find signs of local activity, perhaps knowing how Frida thinks, I could figure out where's she gone. As I followed the faint trail deeper into the oasis' dense greenery, the oversized leaves had suddenly parted. Several figures emerged right in front of me. Reflexively, my hand went to my holster. Before I could raise my muzzle, their conversation stopped me cold. Is it me? Or did something just move over there? They're all female. Their faces hidden beneath hooded cloaks. The one in front pointed hesitantly in my direction as she whispered to the others. There's nothing there. Come on, stay focused. We've got to get to the canyon before dark. Or those guys with guns will catch us again and throw us back into the mine. But I swear you saw nothing. You saw nothing. Come on, we gotta move. One of the others clapped a hand on her shoulder, urging her away. Seriously, keep your curiosity in check. Around here, even something as absurd as worshipping the wrong god could happen. If you stumbled on something supernatural, well, it wouldn't be the first time. Just let it go. It was clear their reactions were genuine, which meant they can't see me. They can't see me. They can't see me. Sorry, bad John Cena joke there, but anyways. Of course they can't see you. There's a 6-month gap here. Temporal paradoxes aside, the spindle system isn't magical enough to rewrite the rules of reality, you know? Boo-boo. Ah, nope, it's me! Hey, Adjutant! Where are you looking? I'm behind you! The earlier voice definitely wasn't prettiest, but this wasn't the time to dwell on that. I turned toward the voice, and sure enough, there she was. Pretty was just sitting on a rock, jutting over a serene pond. Her shoes and socks set aside, relaxed, as she let her feet dingle in the cool water. I parted the low branches and made my way to the water's edge. She propped herself up with her hands on the rock, and her intense gaze locked onto me. You must have been worried about me, right? Hee hee. Her opening remarks said it all. The researchers were right. Fredia had been awake this whole time. You're such a mischievous girl. Mischievous? It's called scientific curiosity. Thank you very much. Yeah. Either way, you got some explanation to do. But if you say so, Without warning, she splashed some water into the air, sending a spray of droplets right at me. Caught off guard, or more precisely, not expecting her to do that. The water landed squarely on my face and showed before I could react, soaking me through. That's your mischievous girl. That's your mischievous girl. Hee hee. Yeah, very funny. I paused for a moment, not immediately, responding to her childlike mischief as the cool water trickled down on my skin. A familiar sensation of stifling heaviness washed over me. Taijin. It's in the water? Oh, right! Agent Boo Boo was right. This place is riddled with horrible secrets. I was going to log out with you two right after we finished the simulated battle, but I just couldn't shake some lingering questions. And the longer I stayed, the more accustomed my body became to the system. So I figured I stuck around a bit longer and dig deeper. But the deeper I went, the more unsettling my findings. Before I knew it, I wandered too far in and you realize you're stuck in the system, huh? Exactly. This is embarrassing. A professor trapped in her own class. Yeah. How ironic. Guess that makes me an impatient student. Here to remind the professor that class is over. You said it, not me. She laughed heartily, her legs swinging in the water. Tilting her head back, she let her gaze wander to the sky. Lost in thought for a moment before meeting my eyes again. You know, Adjutant, I'm actually a little upset right now. Do you remember Freya's psychological evaluations? Or more specifically, the last time she had such an unusual reaction to something? Do you recall what it was like? I can see that, but I'd like to hear more about it from you. I haven't been in here much longer than you, but I stumbled across some new leads. Even overheard fragments of the conversations Boo Boo had with the locals back then. This place named Baiting, it's seen things. Terrible things. Yeah, you can say that again. It's bad enough their material conditions are so dire, but their minds are trapped in a pit of blind faith. Clinging to beliefs they can't even begin to understand. And if Boo Boo's findings are accurate, it gets worse. Even the beliefs these people once held sacred have been tampered with. Blind faith is already troubling as it is, but now it's tipping into something far more dangerous. Are you saying that this has something to do with Roseanne? Or maybe a Theta? I haven't figured out who's behind it, but you should first get a clearer picture of how they pulled it off. She took a deep breath, grabbed my hand, and led me to a shattered and weathered statue lying toppled near the pond's edge. I've been curious about these bulbous-headed statues. If they represent a deity the locals once worshipped, why are there still some standing tall while others lie toppled and decayed like this? We gave what should have been offered to someone else. If this is the it they were talking about, then who is someone else? And what did they offer? To figure that out, I did this. She grasped my wrist, pressed my palm against the stone surface of the toppled statue. Instantly, a faint pulse of Titan surged through my palm and into my veins. The concentration's quite low, but uniformly distributed. She delivered each word with sharp, decisive certainty. Her eyes gleamed with a rare determination. The tree in Shuozhou is nowhere near biting, and there's no record of Titan jade contamination or Titan activity here. But according to Bubu's last investigation 6 months ago, plants, soil, rocks, and even water, everything in biting was already tainted with Titan jade. And it's so evenly spread, that feels deliberate. Almost like someone carefully calculated the dosage and spread it systematically across the area. I've been thinking about that pond, thinking over and over, and there's really only one explanation for all this. You're suggesting that there's a source of Titan jade contamination here, hidden deep underground? Exactly! And whoever's behind it must also be the one who hurt Bubu. She let go of my wrist, clenching her fist so tightly her knuckles turned white. Her head dipped low, visibly struggling to contain her anger. First by drones were used by bad guys to terrorize innocent people, and now the spindle system that I designed to protect everyone has left the brave, hard-working field agent in a coma. Radia. I gently called her name and pulled her in my arms. This isn't your fault. Don't take the blame for the real perpetrator. I'm not that stupid. I know I'm not the one who should pay for this, but right now I don't want to waste time piecing things together bit by bit. Bubu uploaded 3 complete independent data sheets to the spindle system, and we're only working through the first. I need to speed this up. I have to know what these people are blindly worshipping, and more importantly, I need to find out who could do something so cruel to these already isolated locals. Her compassion burned into anger, and that anger filled into a fierce resolve. She trembled in my arms, her hands clutching at my sleeve, as if bracing herself for my answer and command. The sheer intensity and complexity of her emotions were likely the root of cause for her hyperactive neurotropic nerves. The very reason her consciousness hadn't been able to leave the spindle system. Bridia. Yes? Let's start a fight. Huh? Let off some steam, clear our heads. After that, we'll come back and get to the bottom of all this. Alright. The adjutant is back. How is she? She's fine. Reconnect the combat module and get you out. I trailed off mid-sentence, suddenly aware of something unusual. I was lying on the spare bed in the medical bay, but instead of Hill, my head was resting on someone else. Get me to do what exactly? Dye her hair red and wear a different set of clothes and get back to the spindle system. Okay. Excuse me. She gently raised her thigh beneath my head, causing my neck to tilt slightly with the motion. Didn't I tell you to get some rest? What are you doing back here? How can I sleep when you're working yourself to the bone? As she spoke, she deftly fitted herself with the spindle system's headset. Alright, let's get to work. Breaking point. Alright. Didn't really like that box. Is it good? There we go. Oh boy. Ah, shit. Ah, come on. Ah, come on. Like,
お疲れ。みんな怪我はない？
okay, I did not mean to do that. Okay, we're gonna try this again. I think I've done this before. No, I can't skip the cutscene. All right. Ah, come on. There we go.
みんな怪我はない？
There we go.
「これ自動装填のパーツと機能搭載してないの？」「私の弾丸は怒涛よりも速い！」お金は必要な人に渡しましょう。
Take the snipers down.
もう準備万端よ。
くらえ！
楽勝じゃ。
客観的に見て本当に私が出るべきかな。これ自動装填のパーツと機能搭載してないの？
Another sniper on the way. Ah, there.
お疲れ。みんな怪我はない？
Oh boy. Ah. Come on. Really did it on activated. Oh no, I'm not skipping this. There we go. That was annoying.
分析員どうだった？私前より進歩してるのかな？
I don't know. I don't know if there's any improvement. Cutscene. Amongst the gaps in the armed engagements, I once again discovered some investigation data Boo Boo had hastily inserted into this combat module. This time, she had slipped into a space that looked like a shrine. She was crouching against a wooden column, letting the shadows envelop her as she quietly monitored the interior. Excuse me. My revered God, please forgive me. Under the shrine's central offering platform knelt a local clad in a cloak, hands clasped, murmuring softly in prayer. Though I do not know your secret name, nor the visage you bear, nor even the full measure of the blessings you have bestowed upon this land. The elders have always taught us that to be born in Baiting is to be chosen as one of your children. As you're chosen, after what I've done, I know I must humble myself before you, and I confess. The truth is, deep down, we of the younger generation, we've never really believed in your existence. We never believed in the legends about you, thinking that as nothing but chains that held us back from leaving here. It's we who took away your worship, until even your revered name faded from memory. Her teeth rattled and breath quickened, with tears thickening her voice. The incoherence in her words made it difficult to discern if it was penitence or a prayer. From behind the column, one could only see the figure by the offering table trembling fiercely. Her kowtows hitting the ground like her head was hammering nails. Each bow dragged her deeper into a frenzy, her motions trembling on the edge of collapse. After a brief hesitation, Boo Boo drew a unique, finely crafted bone whistle from her pocket and began to play a strange tune. It was a melody I have never heard before, but the local girl's response told me it was probably a tune of familiar generations of Baiting people. But Reverend God, are you answering my call? But this can't be true, can it? Definitely not. Her words cut through the air, and sharp and decisive, as she made her way out from behind the column. You're the one who came to purchase land, the outsider. Seriously, the outsider buying land? Cut the shit. We're well past pretending now. I have no idea what you're talking about. Whatever, you might not get it, but the suit you torched outside. Yeah, I totally understood what was going on. What exactly do you want from me? I already helped you once. Boo Boo's sharp words tore through their disguise, and panic flooded her face instantly. But it was the helplessness and confusion that truly overwhelmed her. Why is it like this with you? Why is it always like this with you outsiders? Why can't you just fucking leave? There's nothing here worth staying for. Even we are trying to leave this place behind. Keep going, all ears. What more do you need to hear? You should leave while you still can, before the ones with guns spot you. I won't tell us so you've been here. Nope, not happening. Like I said before, I'm in the business of saving folks from trouble. What kind of joke is that? I, Boo Boo, the Geomancer, would never joke about such a thing. Boo Boo smiled and vanished as you locked your gaze onto the local girl with piercing intensity. Her unrelentingly, man, damn it, I'm stuttering. Excuse me. Her unrelenting stare held steady until the defiance in the girl's eyes faded completely. You helped me out, preventing your friend from grabbing my weapon. You're also distracted by the Taigu Connect soldiers pursuing me. And you didn't tell them where I was. I owe you for that. That's why I'm here, looking for you instead of your selfish companion who couldn't care less about others. You're kind and honest. The type who can't help but speak the truth. The truth needs an audience. It needs to be heard by a hero who can change the course of everything here. Are you trying to tell me that you're the hero? Me? Of course not. It's a bit hard to explain, but consider me as the hero's eyes and ears. What I hear, he hears. And what I see, he sees too. Beating. Is crowned with eyes and ears? Yep. And the big names are all watching. Well, now you're saying all this, let me guess. You've already prepared a way to get the truth past all those eyes and ears? Boo Boo's clever perceptiveness caught the other girls off guard, her eyes widening in surprise. How did you know that? Are you a messenger sent by our revered god to save us? Stop talking about your revered god. There's no god here, and you're fully aware of that. But indeed, I do have a talent for delivering messages that predict the future. How do you think I got my title as the Geomancer? Alright, if that's the case, please take this. After a long, intense silence, the local stood up, took off her big scarf, and solemnly handed it over to Boo Boo. I don't dare to hope, but if that hero you spoke of truly hears and sees, I pray he can find a way to save this place from despair. What's this? The truth. This was the only possible way I could think of to record the truth. Silent footsteps, and a cutscene, and then Risky Adventure and the boss fight, and then 2 cutscenes after that. And I can also save test for the boss. Actually, who else? Gee, we'll skip Betty.
わあ、マジか。他に誰かいないの？次の一撃は痛いぞ。
Good thing it kind of already shoot me, so. Alright, who's next? Oof. Oof.
腹の断層を散らかすな。順調に進んでる。定時退社できそうだ。
足手まといなんてごめんよ。
Okay. Got a bit of a climb here. Let's see here.
仕事だ。
Oh boy. Oh boy.
君たちの冬を温めてあげる。
Come on. Why are you stopping?
外勤手当？どうも。
今さら私に出てもらおうと思ったの？あんたら程度が？私の勝ちね。さあ、私を称えなさい。目標達成。当然の結果よ。
Yep. Okay. That's it.
どう？フリティア先生結構頼りになるでしょ？
I don't know. Yeah, you're reliable. Okay. I mean, of course you are reliable. Just I didn't really use you that much. This is the story of the divine bird and the sinister worm. A long, long time ago, in a galaxy far away. Okay, I'm just joking about that part. When the desert was a vast ocean and the mountains slumbered beneath the waves, the homeless and the wandering prayed to a god for a sanctuary to call their own. They yearned for a life on solid ground, just like their blessed kin, and for that they were willing to pay any price. In response, the god sent a bird. Of its sharp beak and claws, its painstakingly brought soil, plants, and stones tossed into the boundless sea, slowly transforming into a land. Excuse me. At first, the people waited patiently, their prayers burning with hope and gratitude. But as time wore on and progress was slow, patience turned to frustration. Their reverence curdled into resentment. Once they realized the price was an eternity of waiting, and that the promised land might never surface, they stripped the god of its visage and anger and turned their hope into a sinister worm, which had long rooted deep in the earth, growing larger with every passing day as it burrowed aimlessly underground. Thus deserts arose and mountains stretched toward the heavens. The faceless god became a hollow puppet, a testament to failure standing amidst the sands and winds. Yet the divine bird still tirelessly traversed between the ocean and the deserts, its cries echoing as it brought faint blessings to this isolated, forsaken land. Nope, I can't read anymore. What's all this bullshit? She furrowed her brow, puffing out her cheeks in frustration before tossing the cloth covered in scribbles onto the coffee table. With an exasperated sigh, she threw herself back onto the sofa. Four hours ago, after living another Boo Boo's combat encounters in the spindle system, Yao and I had successfully brought Freddy out. The intelligence we retrieved was now being meticulously analyzed by various departments. The cloth Freddy had been poring over was such a piece of evidence. Using 3D printing, we managed to recreate a certain physical artifact from Boo Boo's findings. one that were otherwise inaccessible to help us better understand what she uncovered. Huh. So, trying to replicate with the 3D printer. I don't know how that's gonna work, but let's see how that goes. That particular piece of cloth had been handed to Boo Boo during her mission 6 months ago by the last baiting local she had made contact with. I'm sorry, that's all I can do. People here no longer dare, nor are we allowed to speak the truth. So, is the truth hidden somewhere between these lines? The story reads like a cipher. Fragments of altered folklore stitched together to conceal a hidden message. Classic coded narrative technique. They say they're too scared or forbidden to speak the truth, yet they secretly leave written clues for outsiders. Huh. The people here are real characters. I don't follow. One simple hypothesis is that the people there want to be saved. They're waiting for outsiders like Boo Boo to uncover the truth and freedom. A more cynical take would be that they're just biding their time, enduring their misery while quietly looking for the right opportunity to break free. Huh. There you go again with your conspiracy theories. Listen up a little, will you? You don't have to chase down every possibility to the very end. Don't you get tired? Leaning forward, she looped her arms around my neck from behind, resting her chin on my shoulder, while her sharp eyes focused on the cloths sprawled across the coffee table. The superstition is real, and so is some of what's written here. We just need to figure out what's truth and what's smoke and mirrors. Something doesn't add up. What do you mean? Chenshik, who had been quietly seated at the far end of the couch, suddenly spoke up. She reached out, picking up the cloth lying on the table. If this cloth was meant to deliver a message to the outside world, why would they lie about the most critical detail? Lie? About what exactly? The basics. Something so fundamental that even a child wouldn't fall for it. Anyone who's been debating would notice a glaring hole in their story immediately. Actually, do you remember this? Wait. Why do you have it? She held a small wooden carving, something I had made from my memory after logging off the spindle system. I brought it from the Intelligence Analysis Department. They say you carved this because some of the data couldn't be recreated with 3D printing. Yeah, that's right. Something wrong with it? Oh, there's plenty wrong. This thing shouldn't even exist in baiting. Or more precisely, nothing like it existed there 12 years ago. She allowed a small, soft smirk and placed the wooden carving in an accurate replica of the statues we saw in baiting, onto the coffee table with a firm thud. The crisp sound of the carving hitting the table was like a resonant gong, striking deeply into the hearts of everyone present. Coming from anyone else, such a claim might have been met with skepticism. But this was Chenxing. Her word was beyond question. And considering she shares the same voice as Dorothy, well, that's not really surprising at the very least. Even with our recent experience from intense simulated combat, the shivers... Oh, shit. Even with our recent experience of intense simulated combat, a shiver still ran down our spines. Brigia practically sprang upright like a startled fish, her body taut as she fixed it with an eager, wide-eyed gaze on Chenxing. I knew it! I knew there was something fishy going on here! Quick, spill it already! It's actually quite straightforward. 12 years ago, I took a trip to baiting. My family brought me here along to visit a distant relative. We drove across the desert plains of baiting. Did you stop anywhere along the way? No, for Shuozhou people, baiting has always been a taboo subject. People avoid discussing it, let alone interacting with the locals. Back then, because of some sensitive family matters, the elders wanted to keep a low profile. So we took a route almost no one else would, one that happened to pass through baiting. It was August, blistering hot, with the sun beating down relentlessly. I was just a child and didn't know any better, so I rolled down the window and looked outside. One of the others scolded me right away. That's why I remember that day so vividly. That elder told me baiting was this place outsiders could never truly understand. A land where people lived solely off what the land could offer. At first, it didn't connect that memory with our investigation, but after seeing this carving, it all started to click. Pretty, do you remember the details about those stone statues you saw? Details? Well, so far, I only seen two types. Some stand upright, stretching tens or even 100 meters high. You'd think they work as landmarks, but they don't help with navigation at all. As for their arrangement, it's completely random. If you try to follow them, you'll just end up lost. And even though you mentioned those statues weren't around 12 years ago, they look quite old. Did they look badly damaged or withered? The overall shapes are intact, but up close, the surfaces are a mess. And here's the strange part. The damage doesn't seem like natural erosion. This is especially true for the toppled ones. Normally in a place like Beating, where earthquakes are rare, something that massive wouldn't just topple over, unless either they were built on unstable ground and collapsed over time, or someone deliberately demolished them with explosives. But the way those statues lie on the ground doesn't match either scenario. What do you mean? There are no blast holes, and their bases show no sign of structural failure. It's almost like their statues came to life and just laid down on their own. And here's the most unusual part. Both the standing and toppled statues contain traces of Taijin. The adjutant and I both felt it. If there's a metaphor that fits, it's like someone introduced Taijin into them like termites eating away at wood from the inside. Actually, that's a good metaphor and a good analogy right there. Hey, Adjutant! Do you think it's possible the statues collapsed due to Taijin corrosion, like what happened in New Hintiro? She hit upon exactly what I've been pondering, but even that plausible explanation had its flaws. The amount of Taijin in the statues was minimal, hardly enough to cause such damage. There are two things that don't add up. First, with such small amount of Taijin, it would take ages to cause a collapse. Second, why are some statues still standing while others have collapsed? Hold on a second. There's something obviously odd that neither of you has brought up yet. Though I'm not sure how big a deal it is. What is it? There are no traces of any statues in the middle of the desert, but around the oasis, they're suddenly everywhere. Doesn't that strike you as odd? Yeah, swung her long legs over the back of the couch, swung her long legs over the back of the couch and settled into her signature laid-back sprawl along the cushions. And she just pointed out something so subtle that all of us had overlooked it. Think about it. If we take Chenxing's memory as a baseline, these statues must have been built within the last 12 years. But what we learned, being so isolated, unwelcoming to outsiders, with some unique local customs. If these statues were meant to reinforce that image, wouldn't it make sense to place them out in the open desert like gatekeepers are big warning signs to keep outsiders away? Huh. For someone who likes to sleep a lot, she seems to gain a lot of intelligence. She seems to gotten a lot of intelligence there, huh? I'll give her that. Outsiders, right. The locals did refer Boo Boo as an outsider, but instead, what did he do? They turned the desert into an intricate maze, so cleverly designed that even we get lost. And the statues, they took away in the oasis and deep within the canyon, as if someone was trying to keep them out of sight. These statues were built by the locals. This doesn't at all align with their supposed intentions. Then if it wasn't the locals who built them, Tiger Connect, Baden Division, the mercenaries. These days, it's not uncommon for logistics companies to maintain armed security forces for safer transport. But those guys we saw through Boo Boo's eyes, they were far more dangerous than what you'd typically expect from a logistics escort team. The statues were built by someone. The Taijin inside was placed there by human hands. The locals of Baden. They've been victims all along. So when Boo Boo reached out to them, or rather, when the Tiger Connect mercenaries found out the locals were interacting with her, there's nothing there. Come on, stay focused. We gotta get to the canyon before dark. Or those guys with guns will catch us again and throw us back into the mine. Excuse me. The mine. The mine. What are you mumbling about, Adjutant? Hand me the cloth. My head was swimming, juggling too many pieces of information with my shit. My head was swimming, juggling too many pieces of information from too many sources. I couldn't even tell which ones were reliable, yet somewhere deep in my subconscious, a coherent thread that had already begun to weave itself together. Sure, here you go. Grabbing the scarf like cloth for Prettia, I quickly scanned for the lines that had been nagging at me. There it is. They striped the god of its visage in anger and turned the hopes to a sinister worm, which had long rooted deep in the earth, growing larger with every passing days as it burrowed aimlessly underground. Thus, deserts arose, a mountain stretched towards the heavens. The faceless god became a hollow puppet, a testament to failure standing amidst the sands and winds. Yet the divine bird still tirelessly traversed between the ocean and the deserts, its cries echoing as it brought faint blessings to this isolated, forsaken land. But even these blessings were twisted and suppressed, for the sinister worm pledged itself to outsiders, and the new god the locals exalted, and reshaped its flesh into the Iron Ouroboros, guarding the underground palace. What a carefully constructed riddle. Adjutant, have you figured something out? Dorothy, I'm Chenching. Earlier you mentioned that 12 years ago, one of your family elders said the people of Beijing lived solely off what the land could offer. Were those their exact words? Yes, live solely off what the land could offer. Okay. Do you know if there are mines or other similar operations around Beijing? I can't say for sure, but I do know my family once held an ancestral property deep in Beijing. It's been abandoned for years though. Why did your family just throw away property like that? Did something happen? Because it has tied to Theta. I think we found our answer there. I think we just found it. There's our main source. There's our main source. Theta! Yes, it was a long time ago back then. Theta was pretty close with the G family and began to assisting in managing that property. After that, the G family had hard times. Theta severed old ties with us. For reasons I'm not clear on, none of the remaining family members took over that property. Adjutant, if you think it might be an important lead, I can start digging into it immediately. Yes, please do. Leave no stone unturned. Understood. Chenching rose briskly and headed straight toward the office building's entrance. Prettia, who had been sitting next to her, widened her eyes, glancing back and forth between Yao and me. Then, as if reaching a breaking point, she abruptly got up and stepped in front of me. Can you two please not leave me in the dark like this? I still don't have a clue. Oh, it's not like that, Professor Prettia. Honestly, I'm just as lost as you are. Adjutant, please don't talk in riddles. I'm not cut out for mental gymnastics. It's exhausting. Okay, I'm just joking about that, but yeah, anyways. Holding their hands, one on each side, stood up as they look at me in bewilderment. Okay, no more riddles. Let's go somewhere we can find evidence, lay out the facts, and connect the dots. Moments later, I led the two of them back into the signal system to dive deeper into the data Booba had left behind. Right now, or rather 6 months ago, at this exact moment, Beijing was nearing dusk, and the valley is shaded by mountains. Some areas were already enveloped in darkness. Seems like time doesn't flow the same here in reality. I've been trying to wrap my head around just as much Boo managed to pull off since we first logged in. In less than a day, she infiltrated this deep into Beijing from the outskirts, solo, while facing those brutal fights. If she really did all that, calling her a field agent feels like an understatement. Yeah, you can say that again. The system might be functional now, but it's still far from perfect. It can't fully convert every second of the field agent's experiences into recorded data yet. Excuse me. Signal interference, environmental factors, physiological conditions. There are so many technical issues we haven't tackled. Right now, we can only see the parts Boo chose to upload, which is why piecing together her entire investigation is so difficult. Actually, you said we're here to find evidence, but what exactly are we looking for? We're looking for the Iron Ouroboros. Huh? Iron what now? Tell you what, let me share a story. If you still don't know what we're looking for, by the end, we'll walk out and get some rest while waiting for Chenching's findings. Is it going to be a long story? Just a few lines. The two of them exchanged glances, then plopped down on the ground in unison, looking at me with amused curiosity, ready to hear an intriguing tale. First time hearing a story from you in a place like this. Alright, let's hear it. 12 years ago, there were no stone statues in baiting, but the locals had their own beliefs. At some point during these past 12 years, someone, or perhaps a group of people whose identities remain unknown, began meddling in this secluded, insular place for their own selfish reasons. They turned baiting into their personal testing grounds, using the Taigu Connect mercenaries as their eyes and hands. Excuse me. They transformed the surrounding desert. Oh shit. This is what happens when I try to clear my throat, but alright. They transformed the surrounding desert into a maze designed to disorient intruders. In the oasis and canyon, they erected colossal statues. They took control of the locals, stripping away both their freedom and their faith. Stripped away their faith? Exactly. Remember what Boo Boo overheard during the battle? We gave what should have been offered to it to someone else. If it refers to the deity the locals originally worshipped, then according to the writing on the cloth, it must be the one they prayed to for land. Oh, and here's another interesting detail. Do you remember what those people were wearing? Taigu Connect uniforms? That could mean that some of the mercenaries doing the dirty work for the outsiders were recruited from the local population, right? Sharp as ever. Hey, I'm starting to piece it all together. Good. In that case, how about you take over and continue the story for me, Professor Bridia? Sure thing, I'm up for it. What do you say, Yao? I'm with the adjutant, can't wait to hear Professor Bridia's spin the tale. Alright, first off, let me decode that confusing mess written on that piece of cloth. I have to admit, once our little genius's mind clicked into gear, her ability to zero in on the key points was truly remarkable. Simply put, a group of outsiders came here and snuck a deal with the locals. Given everything we already know, if the divine bird represents the way the people baiting used to live, then the sinister worm or Iron Ouroboros must symbolize the new way of life brought by these outsiders. Something that completely reshaped everything for the locals. Rooted deep in the earth, burrowed aimlessly underground, the mind live off what the land could offer, the G family's ancestral property. All of these seemingly unrelated pieces might actually point to the same thing. Right beneath beating, under our very feet, there's likely a mine producing some unknown mineral. Hold on a second. Did this whole investigation start because we received that report? Exactly. The report claimed that awakening dust contains a mineral that likely originated from baiting. Look at now. Everything here has probably been nothing more than a distraction trap. Nothing more than a distraction. A trap set by our enemies to mislead us. A distraction? Exactly! This entire place is riddled with distractions. The desert's labyrinth. Oh shit. The desert's labyrinthine terrain, the statues, local customs, the superstitions, and the confusing local lore. Everything here is designed to misdirect us. The common purpose is to hide one thing, to keep anyone from asking one specific question. You mentioned earlier that it's like someone even spread Taijin across this place, so its source must be underground. But what exactly is down there? Just like before, Yao bent down, scooped a handful of sound, let it sift through her fingers. Only this time, there was steely determination in her gentle movements. Excuse me. Bingo! Who brought it here? How did he do it? How they did it? And why they did it? It all boils down to these three questions. In that case, Booba must have covered some truths related to those questions. That's why she was targeted. Exactly! So all we need to do now is ignore the noise and stay focused on the data Boo left. Fredia, watch your step! Yao's sudden warning cut Fredia off. She froze mid-step, her foot hovering in the air. The three of us simultaneously looked at the direction of her foot, and there it was. Look at that. There's our evidence. It's so beautiful. Like an otherworldly iris, there grew a strange flower, blooming defiantly amidst the barren, gravelly terrain. It doesn't look like something that could planted. It doesn't look like something that someone planted here, doesn't it? She beamed at Yao and me, gesturing for us to join her in admiring the flower up close. It's so delicate. Look at the texture of these petals, the veins in the leaves. It looks so real. If I'd also been here 6 months ago, I would have taken it back and preserved it as a specimen. She reached out toward the flower as she spoke, as if she could have plucked this delicate bloom and claim it for her own. But such an act, defying the divide of time and space between now and then, proved futile. But such an act, defying the divide of time and space between now and then, proved futile. The flower seemed to possess a will of its own. Its petal began to fall away before our eyes, swirling gracefully in the still air. Oh man, almost 3 hours? Damn. In the blink of an eye, it vanished completely, leaving only a familiar stifling heaviness that seeped into my senses. Such a shame. It looks so beautiful, delicate, and innocent, and yet it reeked of poison. Emerging from the ground, crafted with such exquisite detail and precision. Whoever made this must be a master of manipulating Titanogen. Adjutant, that Rosen lady you fought, she's capable of something like this, isn't she? You can't rule out others entirely, though. Before I could respond, Freddie had already voiced my thoughts. What surprised me was the familiar yet rare tone in her voice. It was the voice of Fredia Ignis, the resolute Heimdall operative, ready for battle with steely determination. This flower is like an invitation to an academic conference. It conveniently grew right here, waiting for us to notice it, only to wither away the moment we did. I understood the implication behind the words. This Titanogen flower blooming 6 months ago, yet now revealing itself in such a fleeting, deliberate fashion, was indeed too coincidental. And by seeing it and understanding its significance, it had become something more than an open challenge. Let's move. It's clear what we have to do next. Let's help Boo Boo finish what she started. Okay, so risky venture and the boss fight, unsolved journey, and 2 cutscenes left. Okay, I don't know what. I won't be able to upgrade Marion just yet. Okay. As for Korea.
そりゃすぐ逃げなかったんだから、こうなるのは至極当然だよね。お金は必要な人に渡しましょう。お疲れ。みんな怪我はない？
今、戦場は私の手のひらの上です。 甘い。ここからです。恐れるほどではありません。
私だって勝てるとは限らないんだから。
Oh, fuck. Thought I'd done. Alright.
今、戦場は私の手のひらの上です。戦車万戦。
There we go. Alright.
Mm. すぐに終わります。目標達成。演習通りです。
お呼びですか、分析員さん。
Seems far the truth. Oh. Okay, well, that was short.
定め。私を導いてくれるのはあなただけです。
Yeah, okay, Dorothy. Alright. Time to be just a squad. Okay. Okay. Did they want to bring in tests? And let's go log in. All right, let's finish this. Valley of Sunset feeding.
いい場所があった、分析員。今のフリティア先生はどこまでも見える。
Oof.
へへ、ハンターたるもの、辛抱強く。
Hang on. Oof.
分析員なら絶対助けてくれると思った。
Iron Ouroboros to Chain Beast. And she makes quick work.
任務達成。ちょっと休憩しよう。
Okay, gonna get cut off in the new one. No animation view. Alarm clock ring. Alarm clock ring. Ah, what the hell? This stupid thing, I swear, I turned it off. Penny? He slept long enough. It's time to wake him up anyways. Life? What's the rush? It's not like anyone from the office is banging on the door yet. Oh no, darling, don't wake up. Just go back to sleep. Before I could fully open my eyes, her hand gently covered them as a soft weight settled on my chest, accompanied by a familiar sweet fragrance wafting through the air. How long have I been sleeping? About half a day. How you feeling? Still tired? She must have been sitting at the edge of the bed. I could feel her carefully tucking the blanket around me. Much better now. How's Freddy and Yao? They're both fine, don't worry. We sure did got their nutrient packs and full checkups before sending them back into their rooms. They're probably still asleep. The mattress bounced slightly as Benny rolled off me, nestled beside me. Her hands, which had been covering my eyes, slid down her fingers, gently tracing along my cheek. Seriously, darling, you need to take it easy. Do you have any idea how worried I was yesterday? I came home from after work, only to be told that the three of you were still hooked up to that spindle system thing. So I grabbed Wednesday and rushed to the monitors, and oh boy, all the readings were off the charts. Were you guys sure? Were you trying to give us a heart attack? Well, I'm talking to you. Respond to Freddy's affection. Yep, that I should do. Instead of replying with words, I chose the better way to ease her words and tilted my head toward her, making my face closer. Heh. Always so cheeky. She pressed her lips against my cheek, leaving more lingering kiss. With that her earlier frustration melted away, along with the last traces of my sleepiness. I finally opened my eyes. Well, nothing like giving her love and affection puts her mood into 180. Ready to get up? Yeah, don't worry, I'm okay. Arms, legs, every part of me is fine and working well. I mentioned that one part, but I'm not gonna say it, so. Now I'm good. Okay, bad jokes aside. With a good stretch, I suddenly pulled them both in my arms. Caught off guard, they let out delighted squeals and chuckles, amidst which I slipped out of our cozy bed. Quick to tell and Chin are probably expecting you. The intel department has been working around the clock, and they pieced together the most of what they've found so far. So, darling, what are we dealing with this time? That crazy bitch Roseanne, or Theta, that scheming old hag? Definitely the latter. I'm not too sure about Roseanne. Could be either, but honestly, it doesn't matter who's behind us. Then what does matter? The method. For us figuring out how they did it is more crucial than who did it. If certain demiurges just started gaining ground, not just us, but every group capable of utilizing Taijin as a resource has started reevaluating their strategies. And now we just found out that our opponent had already mastered this level of technique 6 months ago. Don't overthink it. Things will work out. We'll handle whatever comes our way. She lightly stroked my back, her tranquil gaze radiating with warmth that never failed to calm my thoughts and ease my worries. Exactly! You're the head of the house, aren't you? So act like it and stop overthinking. If you keep frowning like that, you'll get wrinkles. Well, that's partially true. Get angry all the time, you'll start getting wrinkles. I mean, start moping around there and bitching, whining. Yep. Good advice, Benny. Good advice. Benny circled around me, meticulously adjusting my collar. Moments later, she stepped back, her eyes scanning me from head to toe. Satisfied, a wide approving smile spread across her face. There. Now you're ready to face anything. How are things going for you two? Everything okay? Steady progress, though it's slow. I'm handling the joint training sessions, and Wednesday's keeping a close eye on the exosuit adaptivity upgrades for you. Don't worry about us, we're doing great. Oh yeah, sorry, we're gonna get the bodysuit for the adjutant later. Well, that's much later, actually. We're getting closer. We're a couple of chapters away, weirdly enough. Good to hear. Well, then, see you tonight. Ah, sure. See you tonight. Make sure you come back all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. After leaving soft kisses that brought a rosy glow to their cheeks, I stepped out of the door. The hallways was quiet as ever, but I knew that on the other side of the walls, nearly every department in headquarters was bustling with work. Yggdrasil was facing increasingly complex challenges, and our enemies were growing in both number and cunning. Balancing work and the needs of those I held dear, I had to give it my all. Or that's what I think it is. Yep, give it my all. Yep. Didn't need to go through that, but yeah. Oh, I thought you were still asleep. I was going to fetch you a bit later. Just outside Tao's office, I ran to Caroline, hurrying along with an armful of papers. What the hell's all this? Let's see. Notice this for the assistance with debating investigation and press release about the company's stock redistribution. And this one, a stamped document for the home border office. Oops. She rattled off the list while mechanically counting the documents in her arms, but the load proved too much and one document slipped and fell to the floor. It's okay, I got this. You should go inside and Director Tao and Chancing are waiting for you. Ignore her suggestion. I bent down, picked up the document. It was a thin sheaf of papers, ripped receipt from Yggdrasil's finance department tucked inside. That's for Fubu's family. Her town isn't nearby, so we had to go with physical copies. Got it. Alright, see you. See you. We need our compensation. Familiar compensation. I turned my head and thought of it in what it felt like forever suddenly resurfaced in my mind. I forced the emotions down and pushed open the door to Tao's office. Adjutant! How are you feeling? Never better. Nothing to worry about, at least. Let's get to the point. I made some headway on what you asked me to investigate. The G family's ancestral property invading. It was indeed a mining operation. About half a century ago, it was abruptly shut down overnight. Every piece of related information, documents, records, and witnesses, was deliberately erased or buried. Must be Theta. Yes. Along this thread, she almost certainly involved. I'm still digging deeper. I'm reaching out to some black market intelligence dealers to see if they can offer any useful leads. What about your family, your elders? Are they willing to share anything? That's yet another strange thing I was going to report. I can't get through to anyone back home anymore. How come? Did they just send you to a family letter not too long ago? They did, but when I tried calling to ask them about that letter, I can't get through to anyone in the family. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, something's weird. Let's not assume the worst just yet. If someone's targeting Yggdrasil, they'll reach out to you or me sooner or later. I agree, don't let this distract you, Adjutant. It's probably nothing to worry about. It might be later, so it's okay. Okay, so what's the situation here? I turned to Tao, who just slid the peculiar object across the table to me along with a report. A tube from the Iron Ouroboros. Thanks to your investigation for invading, Fubu's data uploads are now complete. The head of the engineering department personally reconstructed this object from the data. Iron Ouroboros, huh? We're sticking with that name from the story. It's already stuck, but take a look at the report. That's where things get interesting. Following her suggestion, I picked up the report. The content immediately seized my attention. Sorry, something's squeaking. It's not from me snoring or something like that, but I don't know what it is. It has been confirmed that the components, which could not be reconstructed due to the lack of necessary materials, contain the same substance found in the composition of Woden's remains. Awakening dust? No, this doesn't make sense. It's possible for Rosa to have created something like this 6 months ago. Unless it was an early stage prototype. Starting with the arthropods and crustaceans, then gradually progressing to higher life forms. It's a standard R&D approach. And the precise manipulation of Titan you saw earlier in the spindle system that has Rosa Coronet written all over it. Okay, so we're dealing with both. Okay, got it. Targeting an entire region, manipulating the locals' beliefs, playing mind games for personal gain. That's also her style. But it has been 6 months, plenty of time for new variables to emerge. Do you have a lead on Data's whereabouts? Already on it. We also sent offers to G family's former property. You need to take a breather. For now, the safest move is to focus on the spindle system, new exosuits, and the joint training program. Rudy is adapting well to her turbo exosuit, and Yao's performance metrics are becoming more precise, which will guide the next phase of her exosuit development. In just 1 day, the three of you achieved what previously required a full battlefield deployment. The spindle system is currently the safest and most reliable way for Heimdall carrying out missions. Boo Boo. Didn't she upload 3 complete independent datasets? When can I start with the second one? Steven? She sighed, rubbing her temple, and she softly called my name. Easy. There's no need to rush. You don't have to push yourself this hard. We're already sending out compensation to families. How am I supposed to take it easy? Boo Boo's condition is improving. It isn't as bleak as you think. I'm watching her. It's only a matter of time before she wakes up. But if you're this worried, all the more reason to slow down for her sake, because I'll need you to... I'll do it. Just tell me how. Any of us told you the spindle system is far from perfect. As its first users, feedback from you three, any changes you experience, is crucial to its refinements. Promise you'll take a few days off, spend time with Freddy and Yao, ask them if they notice any subtle changes themselves. Even the smallest details can help. With more data, we can continue to improve the system and help keep everyone involved safe. And will be able to get out on the field sooner for hands-on operations. Other than handling the various trivial matters at the company, that's all I can do for you for now. You said it yourself. Your is like one big family, and this family, we don't pile on the tough tasks onto one member. Ow. Hard. Man, joint training is one thing, but now the company's tagged on extra special training. And we got drills tonight too. Who's actually gonna get me out at this rate? Half an hour later, I returned to the base hall. It was just past noon, and the place was frankly deserted except for Nita. She was bracing her hands on the back of the sofa, bent forward, one leg stretched high behind her. Clearly working through some serious stiff muscles. Nita? Ooh! My sacroiliac joint. Ow, my pelvic floor muscle. Nita. I can't skip this stretch. If I don't loosen up, I'm gonna be miserable all afternoon. Nita. Yes, sir! Her response was so sharp and loud, it could have been featured in the Heimdall promotional video. Rough my ears to ease the ringing. I couldn't hold back a wry grin. Oh, wow, yeah, you're loud. Well, I'm loud too when speaking, but yeah, anyways. Jeez, Adjutant, you almost gave me a heart attack. Yeah? Well, you almost deafened me, so consider us even. What are you doing? Just stretching out. These trails lately have been hell. I'm so all over them. I tried booking a neurotics therapy session, but you told me you wouldn't have an opening in the next 2 months. Hey, since you're here, how about giving me a quick rub? Oh, it's just a little massage, 2 minutes tops. Or I could respond. She already sidled up, clinging to my arm and flashing a grin. Her face was flushed from the workout, radiating an unusual charm up close. Okay, come closer. Want to tell you something, anyways. Huh? What is it? About the therapy reservation. I'm listening. There's a way to cut the line. Nani? Shh. Quiet. Don't let anybody know. Oh, hush, got it. I can cut the line. When no one's looking, just sneak your name tag in front of the queue. You'll be up next week. No wonder I've been waiting forever. You're the best, Adjutant. I knew you had my back. Glad to help. Just don't get caught. Got it. Now, I need to ask you something. Have you seen Freddy and Yao? I've been looking all over for them. That's weird. Where's the video should be in her room? She woke up earlier this morning and looked kind of out of it. Maybe her low blood sugar is just tired. She wandered around a bit and then went back to get some more shut-eye. As for Yao, she raised a hand and pointed at the ceiling. On the roof? Yep. She said the simulated sunlight in that system doesn't cut, and the real sunshine on the roof is more her thing. You're going up there to see her? Yeah, if Freddie wakes up, let me know, okay? You got it. Remember, sneak her name tag to the front. I mime the action as she responds with even brighter grin. After that, I made my way to the stairs leading to the roof of the base. The sun bathed the rooftop in its warm embrace. Yao was the only one there, sprawled on the bamboo lounge chair, legs stretched out straight. Her fair skin almost gleaming in the sunlight. Hey, I was just wondering how long it'd take you to find me up here. You know I was looking for you? Nope, not a clue. But since you're here, catch. She let out a big yawn and casually tossed a bottle of sunscreen my way before rolling over onto her stomach. Suddenly comfortable on the lounge chair. How's Freya doing? Still catching up on sleep, I think. Haven't seen her yet. Yeah, sounds about right. We're all drained. And how are you feeling? Me? I'm good. A little higher. Yeah, bit to the right. The afternoon sun bathed us in some warmth. I leisurely applied sunscreen to her back as we trade lazy bits of conversation and golden light. For a moment, I was caught in a strange sense of deja vu, as if the scene had played out countless times before. As if all Heimdall operatives were meant to live such a peaceful life together. Yeah. In this thing, there's somewhat some peaceful lives here and there. Okay, there is, but not as much, given all the rapture invasion, given that raptures are a thing. And of course, the Queen being a huge issue there too, so yeah. No rest for the wicked there. Anyways. Hello? You spacing out? I asked you a question. Huh? What question? I said, what do you think of me right now in your eyes? It's not right now or back then. You never changed in my eyes. Okay, so what am I like? Pretty girl. Oh, come on, I'm serious. So, you're showing Red Hood spiciness near Yao. Yeah, and so am I. I finished applying the sunscreen and was just about to set the ball aside when she suddenly grabbed my hand. Something's bothering you, just tell me, I'll be there for you. You already are. You always been there for me. You always been there for me. She turned to look at me, squinting slightly against the sun. There's something I just can't get over. I'm a Heimdall operative, but here I am relying on ordinary people to fight and bleed on the front lines, just to dig intel for us. Every time I think about that agent, Boo Boo, it really pains me. Why so quiet all of a sudden? Because I feel the same way. But I've had to force myself to face it. Teach you your secret then. How have you managed to deal with it? She rolled onto the side, facing me fully, her hands still holding mine firmly. It's actually not that complicated. Everyone has one life, but not everyone gets to choose how they spend it. Boo-Boo, the other agents risking their lives out there, even us. We're the privileged few. We're lucky enough to have that choice. It's true we're stronger and we're playing a safer game while field agents make sacrifices for us. That's a reality we can't exactly change. But if I let guilt consume me, if I let it cloud my judgment, then I'd be dishonoring the choices and sacrifices of people like Boo Boo. That's just a bunch of pretty words. Maybe. But it's still the truth. You wanna know what I think of you? I've seen you on the battlefield. I've seen you looking out for everyone, and I know that you brace yourself and throw everything else aside to protect someone. But right now, we're not just dealing with the remnants from the former board. We've got Roseanne, and probably even sneakier, more dangerous enemies we don't know about. Yet. Don't know. To beat those who've long since abandoned their humanity, we have to toughen up. Before I could finish, she pulled me into a firm embrace, holding me tight with all her might as if she never let go. Redhead of a gal. Shh. Just let me hold you for a while. Okay. Pretty subdued. The world seemed to pause, and time itself became meaningless. I felt the rise and fall of... I felt the rise and fall of her breath, the faint tremble in her shoulders. Without a word, I wrapped my arms around her, holding her close. We stayed like that for what felt like forever, until breathing calmed and the sun dipped. Further west, slowly, gently, we let go of each other. Let's head back. Yeah, okay. And you should check on Freya too. She needs this more than I do. I know. As our footsteps faded away, the rooftop returned to its quiet stillness. But the void in our hearts had been filled with each other's warmth. Freya, it's your turn now. You stayed strong, holding back your emotions throughout the mission. Now it's time to open the door and let me in. Freya, coming in. And file 1. When I entered Freya's room, she was lying quietly on her bed. If not for the faint glow emanating from the spindle headset she was wearing, she could have easily passed for someone deep in sleep. 10 minutes earlier, a spindle system technician had rushed to me, reporting that someone was still accessing the first data set uploaded by Boo Boo. It didn't take long to confirm that the user wants none other than Freya. Unlike the last time, when she'd been stuck in the system with dangerously high neurotrophic nerves activity, this time her files were completely stable, so stable that it barely felt like she was immersing in her consciousness in the system at all. After ensuring all emergency measures were in place, I entered her room with the headset in hand. Now I need to dive deeper into her psyche too. Let myself relax, lying down naturally beside her. Then I put on the headset. If you want to linger in that stimulated world, I'd go in and find her, and then... Actually, I saw her the moment I re-entered the baiting. She was standing on the edge of a massive boulder perched high above the canyon. The simulated environment was bathed in stillness of night. She stood there alone, quietly gazing down at the canyon below. I climbed the stone steps, winding up the mountain path, each step bringing me closer to her. Closer until I was behind her, and then by her side, close enough that if she tilted her head slightly, her smile would fill my entire view. What's on your mind, Freya?
私？別に、ただ寝飽きたから、ちょっと息抜きしたくて。山頂って気持ちいいんだよね。開けてるし、空も綺麗だし。何もせずただここに座って、ぼーっとしてるだけでも、なんだかすっきりするんだ。
Nice. In what way? I took another step closer, close enough to catch a scent of her hair.
気持ちがね。思えばここ数年、ずっと仕事漬けで、ミッションだの研究だのでいっぱいいっぱいだった。せっかく暇ができたって、だいたい社員寮に引きこもって過ごしてるし。なんだかこうして空気を思いっきり吸い込むの、久しいなって。心配しないでよ。本当にただ、
Hug Freya. There's no need to hesitate. In moments like this, nothing felt more right than wrapping her in a simple embrace. This was what we both needed most right now.
分析員ってば何を？
Her surprised yelp softened into a long, relieved breath, released onto my chest along with the trembling of her shoulders and the rhythm of her heartbeat. Feeling a little better now? Her soft reply was all the reassurance I need. I loosened my hold slightly, rested my chin gently on top of her head, savoring this rare moment of peace with her.
この悪め。
What was that?
何も。ただ先生は単なるあだ名でよかったなって。分析員と違って。
I can't exactly name the adjective way it's defaulted, like Steve or Steven or Alex. Just using those as samples right there.
ほら、いつでもどこでも一番心強い3文字じゃん。分析員ってのは。
You don't like her nickname?
そんなまさか。気に入ってるんだ、とても。
She gave me a gentle nudge of her forehead. Her expression brightened as a growing smile replaced the shadows that had lingered there.
正直な話、分析員に教えられることなんてあるのか、だんだんわからなくなってきちゃって。だってさ、分析員って頭いいし、勝手気ままだし、それにいつも自分軸でしか動かないんだから、一体何考えてるのか全然わからないじゃん。
And what about you, Professor Ferdia? What's going on in that head of yours?
悩み事？私の？まあ、私のことに話持っていくんじゃないの？悩み事なんてこれっぽっちもないのよ、フリティア先生は。まったく、分析員と来たら、言葉巧みに人を言いくるめるのがうまいものだ。
Really? Not thinking about anything or overthinking everything? I used my hold on her and lowered my head, meeting her gaze as she looked up at me.
その通りだよ。考えすぎちゃった。
She murmured to herself, then turned around and sat down at the edge of the cliff. What are you overthinking? Do you want to talk about it with your naughty student?
じゃあ、こっちに座って。
While looking back, she patted the empty spot next to her invitingly.
もう、こっちに座ってってば。
Okay, I'm coming. I didn't move, so she turned and cranked her neck impatiently, urging me again. I joined her at the cliff's edge, letting my legs dangle freely into the open air as I tried to relax.
さ、もし研究者がさ、自分の信じてきたものを疑い始めたら、どうすればいいんだろうか。
Beliefs?
信じてきたもの。科学への確信とか、客観主義への信念とか、自分の暮らすこの世界の実在性とか。
She glanced at me, then began to unravel the confusion weighing on her mind.
ほらさ、科学と迷信ってこれまでの考え方だと対義語みたいなもんでしょ？
It seems that way. Right. Not exactly. No, it's kind of similar to what I said earlier, but yeah, go with that.
科学と研究を敬ってその力を駆使する人たちはみんな合理的手段で自分の生きる世界を探索し根掘り葉掘り知ろうとしている。一方で迷信を信じる人たちって知ろうとするの先にだって畏怖や経験の気持ちとか幻想とかそういうのを受け入れるわけじゃん。未知なるものなんてまるで眼中になくってそれどころかちょっとでも苦労すれば明かせるようなことに対しても祈ったりしちゃうし、ありもしない恩恵のために神事や戒律なんて煩わしい規則まで作って頑なにそれに従って生きる。そう思うと科学者と 怪力乱神を信じちゃう人たちとは根本的に違うはずだ。科学者の私からすれば、迷信なんてものは科学によって解釈され、木っ端みじんに打ち砕かれ、そしてきれいさっぱり消えるべきもののはず。けど今は、その考え方はもしかして間違ってるのかなって。ここ北底へに来て土着民たちと触れ合ってから、いや、もしかしたらずっと前からそう思うようになったのかもしれない。エリアゼロとイエロ社、それからニューガントラの時だって、ミッションが終わった後の前後作の研究でチカッと感じ取ったんだ。その地の住人たちから違和感をね。でもやっぱり今回は一番強く感じられたの。だからずっと自分に問いかけてたんだ。みんな同じ時間を生きる人間なのに、どうしてこんなにも世界の見え方が違うんだろうって。もちろん知識の呪いってぐらいは分かってる。人は学んだことを学ばなかったことにはできないし、見たことを見なかったことにすることもできない。でも別にそんな物差しで言ってるわけじゃない。ただわからないんだ。私や実験室にこもってる同僚たちのような人と土着民とは、見えてる世界がこんなにも違うのは一体なぜだろうって。研究者にとって何にでも疑問を持ち、世の中のあらゆる物事に探求心を持つことは何よりも大事だ。でもそれは求めるべき姿勢というよりも、日々の暮らしから自ら湧いてくるものだと思う。人は生きてさえいれば必ず何かしらの正しい答えを求めている。その意味で人間はみんな生まれつき好奇心を持っているはず。なのに彼らは
They have faith. Faith in things that, to us, are so transparent we can see through them at a single glance.
そう、信念。自分が確信してきた正しさを疑うほど、彼らが見せた信念は強かった。
I watched as their body language, tone, and expression shifted from a firm resolve to hesitant uncertainty. I knew that even if I had to say something entirely off the mark, I couldn't just stand by and do nothing. Meeting her gaze, I gave her my answer. Everyone has to find their own way of living, decide what to believe in, what helps them survive. Maybe it's never about being right or wrong.
あ、是非もないって。ちょっと、それは詭弁でしょ、分析員。
Her instinct was to cling to her own understanding, but the thoughtful nature she couldn't suppress quickly took over.
分析員の理屈で見れば、科学まで信仰の類に入っちゃうじゃない。
Well, maybe I should rephrase that. What I meant was...
いや待って、ちょっと考えるから。もし科学は一種の信仰だったら、ふむふむ、なるほど。わかったぞ。なるほど、確かにそうとも捉えられる。
She didn't give me a chance to argue. Instead, she dove headfirst into her own thoughts and analysis, quickly arriving at her own conclusion. What the hell's so funny?
自分ってバカだなって。フリティア先生、そんなことすら分かってないなんて、道理でいつまでもチンチクリンのままなわけだ。
Rita, don't say that. You don't have to pretend.
強がりなんかじゃない。もう本当に分かってるって。ほら、人は生きるのに心の支えが必要だ。言ってみれば、それは様々な欲望の集まりみたいなもので、それがあって初めて人はいろんなことに挑戦できる。で、何をやろうにもそれなりの苦労が伴うじゃん。食事だって咀嚼する手間がかかるみたいに。その苦労を克服するには心の支えがいるってわけ。 それがなくなってしまったら、人は生きる気力を失っちゃう。難しいことであるほど、やり遂げるのに必要な心の支えが大きい。ましてや研究なんて、そんじょそこらのことに比べたら、尋常じゃないほどの面倒さだ。っていうか、そもそも無限に続くからやり遂げようはないんだ。そのために、研究者として、このフリティア・イグニスは、際限ない心の支えが必要だ。最強の心の支えは、絶対的な信仰からしか得られない。そういう意味で科学は、まさに、私の信仰なの。私が変わってるわけでもなきゃ、彼らが狂ってるわけでもない。みんな同じ。でしょ？
Wow. Seems like Professor Freaky is ready to launch a new lecture series. Theoretical research with Heimdall's Master of Logic. What do you think?
なんだそれ。分析員たら、またそんな出まかせ言って。
I mean, I'm just pointing it out, so... Maybe she gave me a playful punch for leaning back and letting her body rest against the ground.
なんだか現代科学の礎を作ったパイオニアたちのこと、より一層尊敬してきたような。
Jealous? Why?
とぼけないでよ。わからないわけないでしょ。
Her widened eyes bore into me, as though she was looking at the worst actor in the world. I really don't.
すべからく時間だ。
With a sudden burst of energy, she sprang to her feet, standing tall, and gazing down at me with sincerity and intensity. Time?
時間。平和な時代では科学は苦難を払いのけてより良い暮らしを作って人類の福祉のために存在するんだ。でも今の科学は何のためにあるの？殺人、戦争、権力、利益。それとももっと恐ろしい別の何か？
No, wait, hold on. People who exploit their status and talents as top scientists to serve the wrong causes have fundamentally strayed from the right path.
もし私も悪になってしまったらどうする？
She cut me off, her words shattering the lighthearted atmosphere we shared moments ago. What lingered wasn't tension, but an ambiguity that was difficult to define. I couldn't help but rise to my feet as well, meeting her gaze as I searched her serene expression for a truth that always seemed just beyond my reach. You haven't, Freya. The Freya I know would never do that.
だから自分のことをバカだって言うんだ。
Her smile was so genuine and so sincere that it only deepened the mystery of her thoughts.
過酷な世界に手強い敵、強くなっているみんな、そして何も変わってない自分。あんた、ひょっとしてフリティア先生の過ちは許されないのかって？本当に何かが欲しかったり、本気で何か、誰かに惚れちゃいけないっていうの？幸か不幸か、私が経験した平和の時間はとても短かった。挑戦に向き合う姿勢とかの知恵もあまり教わらなかった。ここまで来れたのが全部執念のおかげっていうか、今の話で言えば迷信とも言えるね。そうね。私こそ迷信の一番の狂信者なのかもしれない。分析員と知り合うまでは、天才だの、神童だの、他人から勝手に貼られたラベルを守るために、嬉しくなったり悩んだりして、息苦しくもがいてここまで来たんだ。そういえば、背が伸びなかったのもそのせいかも。なんてね。そして、分析員と出会ってからは、とにかく、やっと気づいたんだ。数多くの失敗を経験して、それを時間が風化させて初めて、人は素直に自分と向き合える。それでやっと、自分だけの正解が見つかり、平静な心で揺るぎない自分でいられる。 そこまでの道のりを完走するには絶対的に信じ込んでいる何かがいる。それを迷信と呼んでもよければ科学と呼んでもいい。そもそもなんて呼ぶかはどうでもいい。
Then, what matters to you?
教えるか。
Of course. You're not gonna tell me a damn thing. Okay. Yeah, that's just plain unfair.
こう見えて TPO をわきまえるタイプだよ。えらい苦労をかけてやっと認めたことなんだ。せめて2人だけの場所で、それもみんなから祝福されてて羨まれるような場所じゃないと口にできるわけないじゃん。
Blunt, candid, heartfelt, intense. Just when I was least expecting it, she suddenly opened her heart. She suddenly opened her heart to me. Her sincerity was overwhelming, leaving me momentarily speechless.
あ、分析員、そこ見て。
Huh? Before I could respond, she had already shaken off any lingering hesitation or doubt, fully embracing the joy and relief of opening her heart. She grabbed my arm, pulling me along as she ran down the cliffside, leading me toward the beautiful landscape we'd just been admiring. A beauty pure, timeless, and breathtaking.
一筋の光でもなんだかあったかくて。
So you're happy now, aren't you? So you're happy now, aren't you, Fridia?
だってフリティア先生今お日様に囲まれてるじゃん。あっちのは空のお日様で、そばにいるのは心を照らす太陽なんだ。
Yep, and that got cut off. I'm guessing that was a to be continued video, caption at the end. But yeah, so looks like that's about it for this chapter. So to the next stream, we're gonna go through next week we're gonna go through one final part of the legacy story, which is Maze of Darkness. Well, definitely tune in tomorrow as I'm gonna go through Halo of Alex. So yeah, that's about it. So hope you guys enjoyed this stream or this video archive of this. I'm Steve, and I'll see you guys next time.